And we're back with the last run of the event. We got our very own SwiftShadow running
Hello.
KH3, beginner any percent, on the PC. So go ahead and take it away, Swift.
Hi everyone, I am SwiftShadow. I run KH3 beginner any percent, and this should be a lot of fun. I'm excited. Alright, for the voice language incentive, was that Japanese? I'm assuming it was Japanese.
See, yeah, I believe Japanese won with $165 to English is $145.19.
Cool.
And $165 is worth it for Riku alone.
Yes.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Riku's Japanese voice is amazing. Riku and Aqua, I both love, even though I'm a huge fan of the English voices. But... All right. So I can give a countdown for when we're gonna start.
Go for it.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so this is Kingdom Hearts 3 Beginner Any Percent. It is the fastest any percent category of the game on the lowest difficulty. We're just gonna go as fast as we possibly can here. This is also on the PC version, which just came out last month, March 30th. And the PC version actually runs a lot better, so it's really nice. To start off, we are going into Dive to the Heart. There's just a lot of cutscene skips here. So it's a little bit of downtime, not really much going on, but I'll explain what the choices that we're going to make at the start do. So we take 3 sets of portraits here. This first one, we're going to take the left one with Mickey on it. And this is the Wisdom option. This choice is going to give us a higher starting MP. MP is incredibly important for beginner. We use a lot of magic in this game. If you've seen a run of this, you know how much magic we use. The run's commonly referred to as being like fire spam the run. Use a lot of fire later on. So getting more MP at the very beginning is really good for us. And the second portrait that we're taking is Mystic, which sets our ability route. And this is making it so that our abilities are more magic focused. One of the big ones is, like at level 2, we get Magic Combo Thrift, which we're going to get after basically the first fight in our first world. And that makes it so that every time that we cast magic in a combo, each cast successively costs 1 less MP. So we get even more magic out. And then this third one is specifically for the Remind DLC, which the Remind DLC also has saved us time at the start here. In the base game without DLC, we weren't able to skip these Dive to the Heart cutscenes, and Remind added that, which is really nice. It makes getting through early game a lot nicer, makes resetting a lot nicer, since we don't have to sit through like an additional 2 minutes of cutscenes. But that last choice is basically just saying we want to play the game like normal, because the DLC added easy codes and pro codes, which can make the game easier or harder, and for any percent, we don't use any of those. This is one cutscene in Dive to the Heart that we can't actually skip, is Sora coming out of the water here. But we have our first enemies. These are shadows. They're standard across KH. We're just going to physical combo them. If you get lucky with the positioning, you can kill them in one combo. And then there's Darkside, which is our first boss of the run. He's kind of like a tutorial boss. And we're just going to spam air combos on his head. On other difficulties, like Crit, you get to counter these orbs that fall and do reprisals, but we don't have any reprisals on beginner, so we're just going to keep spamming combos on his head and hope that the orbs don't interrupt us too much. I'm going to fall down here, because when Sora's high above a target, he does these downward slashes, and they're actually they're slower than being in line with the target. So it's faster to take the time to fall down than to just keep mashing combos and take the slower combo. But we're out of Dive to the Heart now. We're going to our first world, which is Olympus. Olympus is actually a very cool start to the run. It's one of my favorite worlds casually. In the run itself, it's a little bit more difficult, and sometimes it keeps you trapped here for a long time. But in the case of a marathon, where we get to do a reset, we actually get to get out of here and have some fun, so that's exciting. Also, really good thing about the PC version is all of these loads into worlds go by significantly faster than they used to. So there's a lot less downtime between worlds. We're going to super slide off the wall here, go into this first fight, target this shadow, and do 3 hits to kill it, and then we're going to use waters. So we got 2 magics from beating Darkside, Fire, which is a standard magic across KH, Water, which is new to KH3. Water is really good, especially in early game, and it has 2 hitboxes on it, one that's contact damage, and then the other which is a projectile. And it's very important that we try and get both hitboxes to connect on both enemies. It's also key here that we don't go into MP charge in this fight, because Donald has an ether on him that he'll throw on you if you go into MP charge. But by staying out of it, we get to keep Donald's ether and just steal it from him here in a menu. So I'm taking off Elemental Encoder, taking Donald's ether, getting rid of some movement abilities, getting rid of some stuff that Donald doesn't need, and same with Goofy, and then customizing the tools that I want. So we got rid of Somersault, Sonic Cleave, Aerial Dodge, and Assist Friends. Aerial Dodge is just a worst air slide. We get rid of Donald's Arrow and Thunder, so that he's only going to be doing Fires and Blizzards for the rest of the run. Got rid of everything from Goofy's moves except for Tornado. And we got rid of both of their treasure magnets so that they won't be stealing MP from us. And then for customizing, I put Fire, Water, and Ether on, and that's going to make it so that instead of opening the menu to do waters, like I was in that first fight, I just hold L1. And we get to do those commands with the face buttons on the controller. Makes it a lot nicer. So this is the first Thebes fight, and we're going to get introduced to Flame Cores here. As you can imagine, water is really good against fire. All of these flame cores die to 2 waters if you get the contact hit and the projectiles to hit. And then we can use hits here to close distance and get to these enemies faster. They have a pretty bad move that they can do. We refer to it as a DM, a desperation move, which bosses do. That was actually a really good fight. When Donald blizzards things, his blizzards actually do more damage than our waters do. So having him hit things, really nice. Sometimes he goes crazy, other times he just sits around and does nothing. Now we have another Flame Core fight. This is pretty much the same as the last one, just in a different area. Gonna do 2 waters here on this, and then hit to close distance, and try and carry these projectiles of the waters with my air slides afterwards, so that I can have the water that I cast on one enemy carry over to the next one, and get some damage there as well. It's a little bit hard to do, especially when the enemies are moving around, but when it goes well, it's really good. We're going to do some cool movement here, which is actually going to skip this Trinity sled that the game wants us to do. So we're going to super slide off the wall. If I can hit the wall, oh my goodness. We're burning, that's fine. We're going to super slide off the wall and then air slide over. By doing hits out of our air slides, we're able to suspend ourselves in the air for longer, so it doesn't fall. That's going to see some big use throughout the run, specifically later on in this world. We're going to do a pretty big section of that. So I'm looking at my MP here, and I'm about halfway on the MP bar, which is what I want to see. So I'm going to skip this save point entirely, because I want to run out of MP after this fight. So again, we got a bunch of flame cores here. Gonna jump onto this pillar to group them all up, spin around a bit, and then jump off and try and kill them all with water. They're moving around a little bit more than I would have liked, but thankfully Donald's got me covered. So we want to be an MP charge here. Basically, the way MP works, this is consistent with other KH games, but our bar is normally blue when we have MP, and as we cast, that goes down, and then once we run out, we go into MP charge, where we can't do any magic, and then after a certain amount of time, we'll get a full MP bar again. So we wanted to go into MP charge there so that we get full MP back for this next upcoming fight. I'm going to take a menu here and just load my items up with ethers and put on the magic ring that we got from that chest that we just opened. So that's going to give me an extra 2 magic, which makes it so that these flame cores that I've been fighting, instead of dying to 2 waters, are now going to die to 2 hits and 1 water. We're gonna air slide over here, super slide off this wall. I'm gonna go through here, off this wall, super slide off this wall, go through here, super slide off this wall. And it's faster than taking the Trinity sled that the game wants you to. The Trinity sled has a long animation, so anytime that we can avoid it is a good thing. Now we have building fight. So we're going to get a lot of tutorials here. There's a lot of information to go over in this fight. We get grand magic, form changes, and situation commands. I'm going to do 2 hits on a water to kill this flame core. If you look at the bottom left of the screen now, there are arrows that are building up as I'm hitting things. Basically, those arrows go up from 1 to 2, then to 3, and then we get commands. I'm in 2nd form now, which gives me magnet burst when we're in the air. We're going to be using this a lot. So 2nd form has a 6-hit combo. By doing hits in the air and then magic, I can just stay in the air for 5 hits and then pop the finisher. We're going to use Goofy here. Goofy's going to knock this flame core back, and hopefully, if I'm positioned well, everything will just die here. Aw, this one got away. Oh, there's another one. Oh, that one slipped away too. That's unfortunate. But we got access to both situation commands and ground magic. They're a little bit RNG. We can influence which commands we get. By doing magic, we're more likely to get grand magic. By doing one kind of magic, we're more likely to get that type of grand magic. If we do physical hits or a mix of different types of magic, then we can also get Keyblade transformations, like 2nd form. Here we get attraction flows, so when that green circle is on an enemy, and we hit it, we get an attraction. That was a perfect fight. Oh, wonderful. So we get that pirate ship. There's a bunch of different attraction flows that we'll see throughout the run. The times that they appear aren't consistent, but the attractions that they give are. So in this fight, we're always guaranteed to get pirate ship. This one, we're always guaranteed to get it at the start on beginner. Taking that Moogle there, we're going into the workshop to get an ether. We're going to use that workshop later to upgrade some Keyblades, but taking that short trip in now to get an ether is faster than picking up a chest elsewhere in this world. We're going to be picking up probably the most important item in this world, the Water Cufflink. So Water Cufflink gives us Water Boost and Water Za. Water Boost increases our water damage by 20%. And then Waters, the way that Grand Magic normally works is when I do Waters and I get Grand Magic from it, like we did in the building fight, I get Watera, which is the next tier of magic. If you were doing Wateras, you would get Waterga. If you were doing Watergas, you'd get Waterza. This Water Cufflink will let us bypass that and immediately get to Waterza. Here's a big movement skip. We're just going to keep hitting and air sliding all the way across this gap over to this ledge here. And you'll see the camera pounce down here, and there are a bunch of water cores by that waterfall. The game wants us to fight those. By beating those enemies, it opens up the waterfall so we can run up it. But by doing that movement there, we're able to just completely skip that fight, which is really nice. We're going to take another menu here to put on that water cufflink we just got. And then I'm also putting on MP Haste and Treasure Magnet on Sora. I got rid of damage control for some AP stuff that I'm going to be equipping other abilities later, and I'll need that. We gave Donald Fire Boost and MP Haste, and we gave Goofy Lucky Strike, which is going to help. We need a few drops from some enemies later on to upgrade our Keyblades, so having Lucky Strike, which is going to increase drop chances, is nice. Now we're on our way up to the first real boss of the run. Darkside doesn't count, but we're going up to Rock Titan. You can see him swinging his arms up there at the very top of the wall. Fun fact, Sora actually runs faster when he's running diagonally, so by just tilting back and forth as we're running up these walls and making sure that we're running diagonally instead of straight up, we actually get up the walls faster. Oh, I didn't want that super slide. We can also do a cool thing called air slide chaining here, which you can see sometimes I'm getting these consecutive air slides on the ground. They're a lot easier to do when the ground is sloped, You have a window after an air slide when you connect with the ground to input another air slide. Being able to do that consistently is faster than dodge rolling long stretches. Rock Titan, now that we have Water Cuff Link, we're going to be using a lot of waters. So I'm going to do 3 waters on the front of Rock Titan's leg, and then air slide over to the corner here. Do some more waters into Waterza. I'm going to hit to get over to this leg. Do 2 waters, pop an Ether, which is going to restore our MP, and then do more waters. Hopefully we get... oh, good. We do get second form, which is what we want to see here. So I'm going to be popping it at the end of the fight to do something, hopefully for the next fight. There's a chance we don't get it. It's harder to get on PC. But I'll explain that when we get to it. Do some more waters to take down this head. We just got Mountain Coaster, which is the attraction we're going to use to end this fight. It does a lot of damage. So see Rock Titan's health bar at the top? He's got a little less than a bar. That's all gone now. Mountain Coaster hits very hard. We only get to use it 2 times in the run. Here, and then a fight later on. When we do use it, pretty necessary. We have some intense movement coming up here. So I just popped second form at the end of that fight. You can see the duration of second form down on the bottom left. My goal is to get into the next fight before that bar runs out. If I get some good air slide chains here, which 3 sets of 2 is not great, we might be able to carry it. This is gonna get a little close. Okay, that's a little better. We did keep it. Wonderful. Okay, the good thing about having second form here is second form's original finisher, when we hit triangle, we do stun impact. It does like an explosion around us. These enemies in this fight have armor on them. Stun impact immediately destroys their armor, so I can just dodge roll into them here, pop the stun impact, and their armor's gone already. And now we just clean them up with waters. The fight still goes okay if you don't have second form, but second form makes it a lot nicer. And Donald gave us Flare Force, so we can pop that as well to clean up the last 2. We're almost done with this world. This has been a relatively good Olympus so far, it feels like. So we're gonna do another super slide off this wall. This game takes flow motion from Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, DDD. It nerfed it quite a bit. In DDD you could kind of go all over the place with flow motion. In Kingdom Hearts 3 it's a lot more tame, which I think is better, because it makes you mix in other movement options more, which is pretty cool. But we're going to be super sliding a lot throughout this run. We're also going to be getting our next big movement tech here, which is air stepping, which was just added in this game. So by holding R1 here, we get this targeting reticle. We can hit square and just zip over to anything that we have line of sight of. We use that to get up here. Now we're going into the last 2 fights of this world. They go back to back, just 3 big bosses. The first one is Double Titan. It's Lava and Ice Titan together. We're going to start this off by doing a shot lock, which we also just got. So that same targeting reticle we used to air step, we can also use for combat by positioning it on an enemy. It builds up hits, and then we can hit X to unleash a huge salvo of projectiles. I want to get over to Lava Titan here. We're going to do 4 waters. This will knock him away. And then I'm going to immediately jump over to Ice Titan and do another 3 into Waterza. And our goal here is to just keep Lava Titan staggered this entire time. Lava Titan, when he does attacks, he'll turn orange and go invulnerable, which we'll see here as I pop this carousel. There, he's doing it now. By keeping him staggered that entire time at the start, he doesn't get a chance to attack, and he can't go invulnerable. This one's a scripted attack. When the Tornado Titan comes up, he's forced to do this. So we just spin in the carousel until he stops. Now we can pop this, and this is going to stagger him and knock him back. And now any hit that we do on him will keep knocking him back as well, instead of just the finishers that we were able to stagger him with before. We just need one more hit on Ice Titan. There we go. Ice Titan also flinches there from the carousel. It can make getting those last few hits a little bit harder. We're going into the last fight now. This is Tornado Titan. We're almost out. So I'm going to do hits here. These mid-air hits are great at closing distance. Oh, I got hit back by him. That's a little unfortunate. But he's gonna shoot buildings at us. We can guard them back at him. And then we're just gonna combo him here. Hopefully I'll get... Nice, Water Zet and second form. That's wonderful. So second form is something really nice here. It has an ability called Combo Master, which normal Sora doesn't have. And Combo Master makes it so that when you're doing combos, your entire combo doesn't have to connect. Normally, when you try and start a combo, if your first hit misses, that's it. That's the end of your combo. Your combo's done. With Combo Master, even if our hits whiff, we still get the combo to continue. On Tornado Titan, his hurt box is a little bit weird, because he's always swiveling around and stuff. So having second form there to make sure all our hits are connecting is very nice. Now we get to dive down onto him. I'm gonna dive, air slide, and then just hit in water. He knocks us back. And then again, we're gonna hit an air slide over to him. So I'm gonna do 3 waters here. Air slide forward, do another 2. Air slide, hit, do waters, and now we're just gonna keep watering him until he's at low enough health that this Blaster Blaze attraction we got will kill. Pop the Blaster Blaze. Where is he? Oh my goodness. Oh, there he is. Interesting position. But that's Olympus. We're out. We get a few good things here from finishing this world. So we get Hero's Origin, which we're going to be putting on. The game's actually going to force the menu open for us here and say, hey, you got a new Keyblade, equip it. And we take advantage of that. Instead of having to opening the menu ourselves. We just get to do it here. Put Hero's Origin on. We're going to see it in the next world. That's pretty much the only world we're going to see it in after the upcoming world that gets removed completely. But we also now get to play as Riku, one of the only 2 times in the run that we get to play as Riku. And this is one of the good things about the Japanese voice. Sounds very cool. I'm going to use a lot of thunders in this fight, and I'm going to be quiet so you all can hear how cool Riku's voice is. Pretty much the gist of this fight, just thunder him. Alright, lovely Riku voice. He sounds so cool. But that's Demon Tower. Now we're going to take a gummy ship over to Twilight Town. This is one of the first sections of downtime in the run. Gummies in this game are a lot more involved than they are in previous games, like KH1 and KH2. They're a lot more free-roaming and open, so we actually have some pretty cool routes that we take here to gain money, which we can actually get in the gummy ships. You'll see all these money pieces that we're going to be picking up. We also pick up some waypoints as well, which will let us travel to them later. And hopefully, if I'm lucky, we'll see a drop called a fluorite from these asteroids. But as I fly here, if there are any donations or anything, feel free to chime in.
Just about to say, we got 2. We got $25 from Mobile Keys, who says, "Hi Swift, looks like the run's going well so far. Seeing as your timer is in gold color." That's funny. Hope you managed to get leg day skip, which you don't do that on beginner. Sorry, I was away during that. But anyway, and Donald Meteor against Tornado Titan. I don't think either of those things happened, unfortunately.
Nope.
But he says, "Good luck with the run, and may your heart be your guiding key." And we got $20 from Glint, who says, "Let's go Swift, Swift 7 love."
Both for the donations. That's really kind. Hopefully, we have one more set of asteroids here. Hopefully we'll get a fluorite from them. Fluorites are things that we're going to be using for Keyblade. We did! Yes! Let's go! I've been doing practice the last few days, and every single time I've come out of Olympus, I've gotten a fluorite, and I was like, when I do this in the marathon, I know I'm not gonna get one, but we actually did. I'm really happy about that. So fluorites are items that we're going to use later on to upgrade Keyblades. By getting a fluorite in the gummy ship there, it just means that I can skip a chest that we would normally pick up. We pick up 3 fluorites that we need for the run. So I'm just going to pick up 2 in this world, and then we're good. We don't have to pick up the 1 in Toy Box. So this is Twilight Town. Anyone familiar with Kingdom Hearts 2, which was run earlier in the marathon, will know this world and the enemies that are present here. These are Dusks. They're a kind of nobody. Wonderful. We got Waterza and Counter Shield here. I'm going to pop Counter Shield. We're going to be using that in the next fight. I'm going to first step to this enemy and hit it, just to get into position to do this pirate ship attraction. And now we get to have some fun, where we just mash the X button and swing this pirate ship around and hope things die. I'm going to turn it to try and angle it to hit things, but these enemies like to move around in very weird ways and not get hit by this. So hopefully they will all die. If not, we'll have to clean up afterwards. I'm gonna pop the finisher here, hopefully. Wonderful. Wow. Alright, so now we're going into Demon Tide. This was the final boss of 0.2, which was run earlier today by Jordan. And now we have to fight him early on. So I'm gonna be doing a bunch of waters and also physical hits here. I want to see both second form and Waterza. I only got Waterza, which is a little unfortunate. I'm gonna try and get second form here. I'm not sure if this is the best decision on my part, but we're gonna do it anyways, because I want second form here. Okay, I'm clanking. There we go. That was probably slower than just not going for it. But that's okay. I'm gonna hit him here. He's gonna attack again. But counter shield here. With it, it's a big shield. We're able to guard things and it stores up a punch, so we have a Wrathful Fist. When we store another punch, we get a Wrathful Flurry. And then by popping second form, I'm able to keep that punch stored, that set of punches stored. And just pop it again. Probably would have been faster to just forego the second form, but it's useful for the next fight and mansion fight, so I have to get it at some point. I feel more comfortable today getting it here than trying to get it later. So we're going into the sewers now, which weren't a thing before, in this way at least, but they are now. We're gonna do some super slides here in the sewers. I'm gonna do a buzzsaw here, and then just restart my super slides so that I hit the walls in better ways. And here's where we're really going to want second form. So the magnet burst I was doing earlier in Olympus, in the building fight, we're gonna want to do some more of here. But at the start, we're fighting these power wilds. I'm gonna double shot walk them. We have full focus, so we're able to just immediately pop two. I'm gonna air slide back to make sure I'm in a position where I can target all four of these. And then we're going towards the back here. I'm gonna cancel this, and we're gonna just do fires in the air into magnet burst. Hopefully group up these power wilds. We're gonna do it one more time. Oh, we got splash run. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I got hit out. We'll just pop the splash run. What I was hoping for there was to get the magnet burst to gather all these power wilds up and then pop the splash run to kill everything. Unfortunately, one power wild was a big bully and threw a nut at me and knocked me out of my magnet burst. So just have to work around that. And power wilds can be very annoying. Those nuts actually can stun you as well, but when you're in a form, you can't actually get stunned. So by having second form there, we don't have to worry about getting stunned either, which is nice. Picking up a chest there to get a fluorite. As I mentioned before, those are going to be used for Keyblade upgrades later. It's the second of 3 since we got one of the gummy. We're going to get another one in Ingredient Collection later in this world. Now we're at the old mansion. I haven't mentioned this yet, but there's a lot of cutscenes in this run. And again, being on PC, where these loads between the cutscenes are a lot faster, it's very nice. We want second form for this upcoming fight as well. I'm gonna do 3 dodge rolls here, and then air slide into this fight. Switching Keyblades to be on my Kingdom Key for second form. And at the start, I'm gonna jump back and do a moving water to the back wall. Do another 4 waters and then magnet burst to hopefully group everything up here. I didn't get Waterza, unfortunately. Hopefully I'll get it here. That should be okay. Do 5 fires into a magnet burst, and we're gonna pop mad teacups here. And hopefully this teacups will kill everything. Perfect. I got a little bit sketchy at the start. We want to get Waterza there, but because the magnet burst counts as a physical hit, sometimes we just don't get a command there, and it just gives us the next finisher on second form. And that gets a little scary. It's a good thing we got it the second time around. Switching to Hero's Origin here, because we're going to be replacing that Keyblade for a Keyblade we're getting coming out of this world.
Can I read another quick donation?
Go for it, yeah.
$10 again from Mobile Key, who says, okay, Swift, no leg day skip on beginner, no Donald Meteor. That's fair. But what's next? Next you're going to tell me you're not going to the Twilight Town Clock Tower or going to 100 Acre Wood? Anyways, congrats on the fluorite. Referring to the one he got from the Meteor.
We're doing ingredient collection now, so we have to pick up 9 ingredients here. The route for this is pretty interesting. Oh, the movement's very cool. Oh my goodness, Sora. Sora wants to show off a little today for the marathon, I guess. Wow. But we can hit a bunch of these takeout boxes, and baskets of fruit and veggies as well. We also pick up a fluorite on that roof. That one chest I opened. That's the last fluorite that we need. We get 2 things coming out of here. Giant Land, which is a Classic Kingdom minigame. Classic Kingdom minigames are terrible. We're never going to see them. But we also get Shooting Star, which is really good. It's going to be our main Keyblade for a while here. So we're going to replace Hero's Origin with Shooting Star. Talk to this Moogle and buy an Ether, which we're going to use for the next fight. And then we're out. Twilight Town done. It's very, very important that I skip that cutscene as early as possible, because Kairi actually talks in that cutscene. And if I hear her talk, my run is cursed. So, need to pay very close attention there. We're going into another gummy ship here. We're going to Toy Box, which is the Toy Story world. We've got something cool coming up at the end there, which is Gummy Skip. But until then, if we have any more donations, or if you want to talk about the cause that we're raising money for, or anything at all, feel free to.
Yeah, I can go ahead and remind everybody about RAD, the cause we are raising money for. Let's see, Rise Above the Disorder is a non-profit dedicated to battling the 2 greatest barriers to mental health, access and affordability. To accomplish their mission, they provide a universal mental health care system to people around the world. Too many people can't afford mental health care, and RAD is working to change that. Just want to remind everybody else, we are just under $150 away from 2K, which is the goal that I would like to reach, or that we would like to reach before the end of the night. So that's only $150. Get those donations in. And I'll throw it back to you, Swift.
Alright. Perfect timing. We just did a thing called Gummy Skip. Basically, there's a boss that the game wants us to fight here, but we can say no. If we input a camera, or you do a U-turn there as we fade into the fight, it actually breaks us out of combat, and even though the world looks like we can't get into it, we can. It's a lot easier to do on PC. On console, it was a 30 FPS, frame perfect trick, but now that it's on PC, and the gummies are running at a higher frame rate, or something, I don't know the exact cause for it, but the timing's a lot more lenient than it was in the past. Here we're in Andy's room. I want to get Waterza and double arrow guns here. I'm going to pop both. We're going to go into Meow Wow here. I'm going to jump a little bit. I did a bad Waterza. Didn't kill everything that I wanted to. We want to see this next wave spawn in. Meow Wow's a Link that we have. And Links can only be used at full MP, which is why I did that Ether before going into it. But Meow Wow can jump, and Meow Wow can go big boom and explode. And he hits everything, does a lot of damage, it scales with our magic, it has a humongous AoE, it also knocks things to the ground, so it's very good. Here we're going to buy 3 chocolate mousse, not 3 butter, and a bunch of ethers. And then we're also going to use one of those fluorites that I was talking about earlier to upgrade Shooting Star. Having double arrow guns here, that's Shooting Star's form change, it's Keyblade transformation. It has a movement ability built into it called Double Flight, which gives us that double jump that I was able to do there. Comes in handy later on in the run. We also got Blizzard, which allows us, we're only going to be using it for movement. Can be used in combat as well, it's just not as good as some other magic, but It'll let us create these long blizzard trails on flat surfaces if I can aim blizzards properly and not hit corners of curbs. We're coming into the toy store here. This is Toybox's main gimmick. Big mechs. We get big mechs. This one's a blue mech. Each mech actually has different triangle attacks. You can see our controls down at the bottom left of the screen. Blue mechs have exploders, which are those salvos of bombs that shoot out from our right side and then our left side. So our goal here in this fight is to get as close to things as possible and just hit them with both salvos of bombs. Basically just keep doing that. Again, each mech has different ones. Where is this? There's something, there's a blue mech. Is there a blue mech? No. I killed the blue mech. Oh. I thought there was still a blue mech out. I guess I killed it. Well, that went better than I was expecting it to. But we're gonna see each mech used here. We're gonna do another blizzard here. This one's much easier to do than the one at the curb. And then get into this mech, fly up, and pick up one of the most broken items that Square, for some reason, decided would be good to put in a world this early, the fire cufflink. It's a lot like the water cufflink that we got back in Olympus, but for fire. So it gives us fire boost and Firaza. We're going to equip this in a menu very soon, and once we do, fire becomes extremely powerful. We also have a red mech here. Red mechs like to punch things, so we're going to punch and dash to carry our punches, and then hopefully tackle both of these, which we did. Punch this 2 more times, and then tackle again to end the fight. Coming out of this, we're going to do another blizzard to get over to these events. Switch back to double arrow guns to do that double flight that I was talking about before. And this is the big moment where we do want to have double arrow guns. There is a fan here that's on a cycle that on beginner we don't actually have the speed. Oh my goodness. We don't actually have the speed to make that cycle. With double arrow guns and double flight, we can completely skip that fan cycle by doing a double jump. I accidentally switched keyblades and canceled my double jump though. But it's the thought that counts. Here we're gonna do some movement to hopefully, oh I missed, barely missed, get through these vents. Do another super slide off this side of the vent to get into this cutscene trigger. Man, Toybox actually has so many good items. Because we're picking up another one here that is actually probably the most important item in the entire run. Gold Amulet. What Gold Amulet does is, if you've been seeing when I'm doing fights, enemies drop money. And money drops come in either drops that give 1 money or drops that give 5 money. What Gold Amulet does is it makes all of the drops that would normally be worth 1 money now equal to 5 money. And the best thing about it is we don't even need to have it on Sora. We can just throw it on one of our party members. It'll take up one of their accessory slots. And we just are getting more money for the rest of the run from now on as a result of it. So very, very nice item to have, which we're going to be putting on now. I'm going to equip that fire cufflink that I was talking about before. We're going to throw water cufflink and gold amulet onto Donald, equip aerial recovery, unison fire, combo boost, and combo plus and fire boost, and eat a chocolate mousse. Chocolate mousse gives us +1 magic and some MP. We got fire boost, which is going to increase our fire damage by 20%. It stacks with the fire boost that we get from fire cufflink as well. We also get access to Firaza here, which is going to do a lot of damage, as you can see, to Angelic Amber, this doll here. We also want to get double arrow guns here in this fight, which I did get, which is very nice. Gonna do some more fires, pop double arrow guns. We have to use it before the fight ends. That might have been my best Angelic Amber fight I've ever had in my life. That was really good. But we have double arrow guns here, which we're going to want to use for this fight. We're going to double flight over here, get over to this side, and then blizzard our way into this fight. So we're coming up against a unique boss. This is the mini UFO, and unlike other bosses in this game, his HP is actually hit-based instead of damage-based. The double arrow guns has a mode where it just shoots. And it does a lot of hits, and by doing this here, we can just dole out a lot of damage. It also, when it's centered on a target, will lock onto them. And as long as we're within range of UFO, when UFO teleports away, it will immediately snap to target him again. So it makes this fight go a lot faster than it otherwise would. We're also going to pick up another item. I was talking about how many good items there are in this world. Well, this one's definitely not one of them. It's a terrible item. Don't let anybody in the chat right now dissuade you. It's awful. I hate it. But for the marathon's sake, I'm gonna pick it up for safety. Just for the marathon. But that item is Petite Ribbon. It sells for 750 money. Etchy loves this item. Etchy swears by it. I kind of have to pick it up now with the ether route that we're doing. But it gets us about 3 or 4 ethers. It's also a very fast chest to pick up. There's no reason to not pick it up, but I don't like it. This is Verum Rex. This is actually very difficult to do. We're going to be shooting mechs here. So this fight goes in phases. I'm going to break the floor here. I didn't get enough kills. I have to kind of just hope that things go the way I want to here. We're going to break this bomb. These will fall into the electric floor and die. Thank God. That was very close to not working. Now we're in phase 2. These are prime mechs. So there's 6 prime mechs we have to kill. I'm going to exploders that. I got the kill, but I didn't get up all the way, unfortunately. I'm going to land here, shoot this bomb in the back, switch over and shoot this bomb, and then dash over into the center here. Oh my goodness, this got away. Oh, that's not good. Improv time. The game doesn't like me. Oh no, that did work. I'm completely wrong. I thought I missed. Never mind. Well, this is good, but I'm in a very bad position here. Oh, we've got a gold mech we gotta kill. So this is the gold mech. This is the last mech of the fight. So we're gonna shoot him a bunch. I'm gonna punch him here. And then he's gonna transform. He's gonna go golden. I'm gonna punch him, knock him over. Exploders him, and punch him to kill him. So I thought my hit on the bomb had missed, but it didn't. I didn't see the other enemies spawn in. I only saw like the small prime mech, and I thought that I had missed, and the other mech had lived, but that was actually the mech from the second wave. Got a little thrown off there. That fight was better than I thought it was going to be, because the mistake I thought I made didn't happen, but I made another mistake as a result, so. Anyways, we got an accessory slot from that, so we're gonna equip the magic ring that we had on before, and equip high jump. Lets us jump higher. And now we're leaving Toy Box. This is gonna be something that we're going to do a few times in this run. Leave the world before we're done with it. I'm gonna take some time here to unlock the Moogle ship, which, when we were taking the gummy flight over to Toy Box, I took a picture of a constellation, and that unlocked the Moogle ship, which is the ship that we're flying in now. It's very cute, and it also is faster than the gummy ship that we would normally use. But we're leaving Toy Box. We aren't done with it. We still have to come back to it. It's just that we're going to get a good amount of things from Kingdom of Corona here, which is where we're going now. It's the Tangled World. And it makes the rest of Toy Box go a lot smoother. So it's worth it. And on PC, we have a load remover, so the loads from like leaving and re-entering the worlds actually don't count towards our time. On consoles, we use the in-game timer, which also doesn't count those loads to your time as well. So the only time that we really lose by splitting up the worlds like this is the time that it takes to travel on the world map back and forth between the two. We're going to be seeing a lot of Meow Wow in this world. Meow Wow is very cool. So I'm going to pop Meow Wow, immediately finish. Meow Wow's just going to kill things. Then I'm going to pop an Ether here, and that's an 18 that I didn't want to see. I went a little higher on that shot lock than I'd originally planned on, but we can just do it again. That's fine. Pop Meow Wow again, do a finisher, and hopefully this will hit everything. There's a chance. Okay. I knocked something back. There was a chance that didn't kill. So normally, you would think, and it's normally the case, that the higher the shot lock you do, the better. On Shooting Star, when you're targeting multiple targets, the full shot lock is actually terrible. And it's a lot better to cut it short and do a 17 than it is to do the 18. It really hits for much less damage, unfortunately.
I read a few donations real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
We got $15 from B-Boy, who says, let's get 2K. Good luck, Swift. Thank you very much, B-Boy. $50 from Corvame, who says, put this towards the limit break incentive. Hashtag Riku. Hashtag my master. Hashtag pint and a half. I read this like 5 minutes ago, but I just now realized those were the Instagram hashtags.
Yeah.
$10 from Anonymous with no comment. Thank you guys, and with that, we are about $70 away from 2K. That is not that much. We are so close, so let's hit it. Can you guys tell I'm tired? It's been a long weekend.
You've been doing a lot of work. So this is the Chief Puffs fight. We're using second form again here to Magnet Burst and catch all of these smaller enemies. I would like to have gotten Auroras as well, but the game doesn't want me to. I have to actually pop another Ether here. I used one too many magic casts, but that's fine. I have more Ethers than I need at this point, so that's totally fine. The one unfortunate thing about this fight is it would have been nice if we'd gotten double arrow guns as well. We didn't, so I'm going to try and build up some arrows on our way to the next fight. We need double arrow guns in the next fight. So we're coming through the forest here. I'm going to prep a cure here as we round this corner. And then cure into this little cutscene trigger. That carries us forward a little bit. It also puts us in MP charge. Cure uses all of your MP, so now instead of having to hit the save point for a long time to fill up my MP, I just get to tap it and it fills up faster. So I'm trying to build up arrows here with my hits. We're at 1 right now. I'm gonna hit these Chief Puffs, or these little puffs, just to preserve my arrows. We're gonna Buzzsaw on these Power Wilds here as well, to build up some more arrows. And then Sonic Slash this Power Wild as well. So we're at 3 arrows. These all count as physical hits. My goal here is I'm gonna try and just fire this thing at the start, and hopefully we'll get Firaza and double arrow guns, and I'll be very happy. Oh, wonderful. That's actually really nice. I didn't think that was going to go that well. Cool. Now we need to build up Shooting Star's second form change. So unlike second form, this actually has 2 different forms. It has double arrow guns, and it also has Magic Launcher, which we really want to see Magic Launcher here. Cool, I'm gonna pop that. And now we just have to finish off these Reapers. These Reapers are a bit annoying. We'll see them again later on, but they like to go invulnerable. Fire hits them out of their iframes, though, which is very nice. It's a good thing that we like to use a lot of fire in this game. Gonna air step to this branch off in the distance. We can luckily target there. Attack towards this enemy to get a bit more distance. And I also, earlier in this world, set up a second customize page, which is something cool that KH3 allows us to do. 0.2 allows you to do it as well, but you can have multiple pages of customize that you can swap between. So I have Blizzard on its own page now, just so that I can use it for movement. I'm gonna switch back to my other page to thunder this poster to break it, because the posters actually drop money. We're gonna do a Blizzard here for some movement. Cool. Switch back to our other customized set to thunder another poster here, and I'm gonna cure to put myself in MP charge. So we have 2 chests coming up, which are important, and they are both Damascus chests. So, like the Fluorite that we had to get earlier, we need Damascus as well. These are for the next tier of upgrades. So I need 2 Damascus. This is the first one, and then we're gonna get another one here as well. A little bit. Since I'm an MP charge here, I don't have to worry about filling up my MP at this save point or anything. We can just keep going. And we're gonna do some cool movement here that again takes advantage of the fact that we have double flight from our Keyblade. I didn't mention this before, but we can store our Keyblade transformations, which is what we've been doing here. By switching to a different Keyblade, it actually stores the transformation of the one that you're not using. My finger slipped and hit triangle. We're gonna revert to an old strat here. So I wanted to have Magic Launcher for the next fight, but that changes things. Part of the reason why we built it up in that fight, but this is fine. We can make this work. So what we used to do before we used Magic Launcher, which Magic Launcher is a lot nicer, but we don't have that now, is we used to do Meow Wow. Meow Wow's my favorite Link, so I'm glad we get to use a little bit more Meow Wow in this run. It's always fun. We're gonna hop around a bit and just kill some Power Wilds here. And then once this last wave spawns, there's one more. I can do this finisher, and it should kill all the Power Wilds that are left. Cool. We're gonna do a partial shot walk here on Chaos Carriage. He's gonna push us back into this wall, and then turn around and run. And then we're gonna do another full shot walk here. Since we're doing it on one target, this is actually okay. We just want him to slow down, because Chaos Carriage actually can only take damage from his front here. I'm gonna wait here and let him turn around and face me and walk forward a bit before I kill him here. Now we're gonna pop an Ether and go to this back wall and go into Ralph, which is a link that we haven't used yet. We got this from Toy Box, but Ralph likes to build, and he does a lot of damage when we build well. I'm gonna pop Ralph again, build again, and if all goes well, this will die. That was still very good. So unfortunately I didn't get as much damage as I was hoping for, but the Ralph hit, and that's much better than other times. There are times where that Ralph completely whiffs. He takes no damage, and you use all of your MP to do that, and you also use all of your Ethers to be able to use all your MP. So then you're kind of just left with him at full health at the end, and it's sad. We got Super Jump from that fight, which we just equipped. We also equipped Water Boost, which will come in handy a bit later. It's not very important, but since we equipped Super Jump here for movement, might as well do it for the Water Boost as well. And Super Jump allows us to, when we're in flow motion, when we do a wall kick and we're on a wall, we can jump off of it, which is what allowed us to grab that Mage's Earring chest there. Gonna Blizzard here. Oh, that Blizzard was a little bit late. That's fine. Air step to this branch here. In the distance, slide off of it, air step to the next branch. Do the same to hopefully get down to the very end here. And we're getting to the Kingdom of Corona. This is the actual kingdom. We're going to be picking up 2 chests in here. The first one is in Ether, which we've been using to restore MP, and then the other is a Rune Ring, which gives us 3 magic, and it also has an ability called Extra Cast, which allows us to do an extra cast of magic. So a cast that we would normally do that would run our MP out instead leaves us at like an extra cast, which is very nice. It also helps us not go into MP charge when we aren't planning on it as well. And the Mage's Earring that we picked up before is a 3 magic accessory that has Magic Treasure Magnet. So anything I kill with magic, when I have it equipped, all the drops from it will immediately come to me. But now we have a mini game. We're gonna dance a bit, and if there are any donations or anything to say, feel free to chime in here while we dance.
No donations so far.
Alright.
Just want to remind everybody to stick around for the whole run, especially a little bit at the midpoint when Sid. Oh my god. I need to sleep. When Swift is going to sing the Let It Go during the Let It Go cutscene. right after he be sure to mute the game audio so this fa doesn't get completely muted.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, look forward to that. This dance minigame is awesome. That's why we speedrun KH3. Everything else about this game is complete and utter trash.
Actually one of my favorite things in the whole run. I love it so much.
It's so fun. It's so basic, but I don't know what it is. It's so enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. It's just
and
so
I'm not
well
usually
done.
like a big fan of rhythm like things. If you even consider this rhythm.
A bit.
Mm.
The Melody of Memory demo. Alright, so we're gonna spin on this barrel. I'm gonna do an empty spin here to get me the last few points I need. We're gonna do a sun wheel to get back into the center. This is coming to the end of the dance. You can mash buttons here the whole way through when you're in the sun wheel, not in the other part, but I like to not do that. It makes loud noises like this, and that's, well, it's not great. We also get a magic boost here, which is an item that we're going to be using in a little bit. Boosts our magic by 1. Very nice. We have the Reaper 2 fight. Reaper 2 Electric Boogaloo. They're back with a vengeance. 4 fires kills them. But as you can see, fires don't always do a great job at making their way to the target effectively. We also get an attraction here. This is Magic Carousel. I'm gonna pop it, and we're gonna spin around. Just gonna do some excellence here. I'm a little off-center here, so I'm just gonna go a little bit longer than I normally would, but hopefully this does hit everything. Cool. We got the carryover hit on these Reapers. It kills all the dusks, and then all these Reapers get knocked to the ground and brought to half health. This also saves me an ether, because then I only have to use 2 fires on everything instead of the 4 that we would normally have to do. Almost done with Kingdom of Corona. We got 2 more fights left. Both of them use links. We're gonna do a little bit more of an in-depth Ralph build than the ones I was doing on Chaos Carriage. Chaos Carriage, it was basically, there was some strategy to it. It's, you build one and then you want to build a downward-facing block on top of that. The upcoming boss fight, if you haven't seen this before, be ready to get wrecked by Ralph. Ralph does some humongous damage. Unless I choke. I hope I don't choke. Especially now that I'm building this up. But Ralph has a lot of different blocks. And doing a certain build so that blocks chain in the right way lets us maximize Ralph's damage. So the way that the blocks explode, you can see the way that they face if you look at the bottom when I do go into Ralph. But they shine lights in the directions that are going to explode, and by placing another block in the light of a block that's already been placed, you start up a chain. So then that block, the first block will explode, and that chains into exploding the next block, and you can continue that over and over. And as the chain gets higher, they progressively deal more damage. But before we use Ralph, we're going to use the best link in the run, Meow Wow. Meow Wow's jump actually has an arrow property on it, so these chief buffs that have armor that gets removed by arrow get removed by Meow Wow's bounces as well. And we can just use the finisher to kill everything after that. Now we get to do big Ralph damage. So this is Grim Guardianess. It's the boss of Corona. If you are familiar with Tangled, Mother Gothel just falls out of the tower here and turns into a gigantic monster. So we're gonna pop Ralph here, place an upward-facing block, then a downward-facing block on top of it, and I'm gonna place this block here. A little lower than I would have liked, but it should hopefully connect here. Okay, the debris killed it. We'll take it. A little bit delayed, but it works. Barely missed the kill. But I didn't even hit him. It was the debris from the blocks breaking apart at the end that did it. Ralph does lots of damage, as you can see. We also get Ever After here. It was actually calculated. I wanted to leave the stream in suspense a little bit. Make it a little more like, oh no, is he gonna miss? Oh. Totally planned. We get Ever After here. Ever After is now our main Keyblade. Ever After is actually broken. It's ridiculous how powerful this Keyblade is, especially for how good magic is in this game and how much we're focusing on magic. Ever After has a very high magic stat. Its form change is cool, even though we're not going to use it much in the run. We're going to use it one time. Or maybe more. If I get lucky towards the end, I get to show off some cool stuff. But that's all on the game if the game wants to give me the form later. But Ever After is very good. And it has an incredible shot lock as well, which we're going to be seeing soon. So we're going to equip it now. I'm going to equip a refocuser. Those accessories that I got before, we're going to use the magic boost that we just picked up, and the one that we got from Dance. Eat some food. So we're re-entering this world here to spin on that barrel that I spun on, because we can't actually do that the first time around. We have to clear the world before we can do it. Gonna buy a Koopa coin here, buy 4/10, buy as many ethers as I can. I have 11. And now we're going to upgrade Ever After. And we're gonna do it 4 times. So this gets us to 9 magic, which is huge. It also has Erosa built into it, which is also amazing. Just like Fire Cufflink gives us Firaza, and Water Cufflink gave us Waterza. Using Ever After now just has a chance at giving us Erosa, which is really, really powerful. And now we're coming back into Toy Box, which we left before. We're actually coming back to finish it off. Now that we have that increased magic, those better accessories, and the better Keyblade, it makes the rest of this world go a lot smoother. So I'm gonna do another Blizzard here for movement, and I'm gonna Cure here, so that I, again, get into MP charge, because we want to be at full MP later on to use another Link. We're back in our trusty blue mech here to do some more mech fights. This is Kid's Corral. There's 3 fights here. So this first one, I'm gonna punch this purple mech to knock it over, and then exploders on both of these, punch it again to kill it. Come over to this blue mech, exploders on that. Shoot this red mech because it has a lot of health, exploders on it, kill it. Punch this purple mech so it doesn't move, exploders on it to kill it. And then we just have to deal with this last blue mech here, which hopefully won't jump away as I do this exploders. Good fight. And now we're putting these blocks together. Oh yes, we can skip the blocks by the door. I am reading chat, by the way, as well. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. But the blocks by the door are not mandatory. They let you leave the room. We don't need to leave the room. We're totally fine. We've already left the world once. We're good. This is Kids Corral 2. We're gonna do something very fun here. We're gonna drop down to the bottom, go into the center here, get out of our mech, and use the best Link in the game, Meow Wow. Jump up to the ceiling, pop the finisher, and Meow Wow's ridiculous AoE actually hits enemies in here. So we got 22 hits. That's 22 enemies killed. And by leaving Toy Box when we do, and going to Kingdom of Corona, getting both of those magic boosts, having the accessories that we have now, having Chocolate Mousse active so that we get the extra magic, having the Keyblade upgrades on Ever After, all of that brings us to the very specific magic stat where Meow Wow one-shots everything in that room. If we were even 1 magic under, the larger toys in that fight would still live. And there are 2 on the bottom, so by having the magic stat that we do here, we don't have to drop down at all. Now we're in the purple mech. This is actually our first time seeing this mech. But the purple mech has these big cannons, which we get to use. They hit hard. And also, a cool thing about these mechs is when you jump out of a mech, you go back into it, it refreshes the cooldown on your triangle command. So at the start there, we can cannons and then jump out. And then do another cannons, and then continue the fight, and do another cannons here for good measure, because we're gonna miss that purple mech when we leave here. And oh, we've made something here. I don't know what this is. Well, he lets us climb it, so I guess that's cool. Now we're going into King of Toys. And this is the big reason that we also want to leave Corona early or leave for Corona early, come back to Toy Box later. Because ever after Shotlock is crazy, which you'll see here. If you watch the health bar at the top right, you can see how much damage this Shotlock actually does. It's kind of ridiculous. It's also the reason that we equipped a refocuser here, so I'm gonna jump, Thunder, pop the refocuser, attack to get some distance close to him. Oh. My finger slipped off R1. Okay, there we go. But 3 full Shotlocks and a Thunder end up killing King of Toys. It makes this fight go by a lot faster and a lot less annoying than it would be if we didn't have Ever After. So even before we would leave to... in old routes, we would get up to King of Toys, and then go, like, in that vent, there's a save point right before we enter the portal to do the fight. We'd leave there and go to Corona, and then come back and just fight King of Toys, just because Ever After itself is good enough to leave the world for. But as I mentioned before, with Kids Corral 2, having that magic stat to one-shot everything in that room, makes leaving even better. Makes everything even faster. So we're going to take a little bit of a detour here in the Gummy Ship to go pick up Endymion, which is the next Gummy Ship that we're going to be using, the last Gummy Ship we're going to be using. Very, very, very fast, very good, very hard to control. It's not that I'm bad at flying the Gummy Ship if I crash at all. The ship's very hard to control. I'm not the only one who struggles with it, so don't make fun of me too much. But yeah, we have a long trip ahead of us. We're going to hit a waypoint here as well that we're going to use when we leave to go to Arendelle later. But in the meantime, if there's anything to be said at all, feel free to chime in.
Yeah, looks like we got a $14 donation from Dips, who says, best entertainment for breakfast. Thank you once again for organizing this amazing event and to all the runners who take part in it. Thank you, Dips. We appreciate you. Hope you enjoy your breakfast.
May look like we're kind of going out of our way here, just flying in a straight line away from everything that we're supposed to go to. But trust me, it is faster to do this here. The ship is actually right next to where Caribbean is, which we're going to hit later, but it's been timed. It's actually faster to go pick this up here than it is to wait until Caribbean to get it. Alright. Now we're going to go back to the world map, put on Endymion, which we just got, and we're going to go zoom in to Monstropolis. Alright, Mobile, do it. Do it. I'm gonna get DM skips. No worries. No shot that we don't get it. Easiest fight of the run. Also here, we're going to be hitting this enemy just to back out of it. Hitting enemies actually refills your boost. And especially on PC, with the load remover that removes loading for fading in and out of that fight. It's nice to do. We have another Gummy Skip here. Again, first try. It's a lot easier on PC. On console, this was nightmarish. It was so frustrating to get here in a run and have to do Gummy Skip and like miss it 6 times in a row, and then you want to cry. So, PC having it be free is very nice. We're going into Monstropolis now. This is the Monsters Inc. world, and it's been commonly referred to in the community as Meowstropolis or Meownstropolis because of how much Meow Wow we use in this world. So I'm going to jump and Shotlock here. And then we're going to... That Shotlock should kill the toads. It should also help to keep some of these floods in the air. Pop Meow Wow. Unfortunately, this flood wanted to stay underground. That's fine. But Meow Wow does one-shot all of the floods when they play nice. Also in this world is Vanitas. Vanitas is here. We don't actually get to see him in the run. He's only here in cutscenes. But he's the reason why these enemies have changed into unversed now that we're fighting. Unversed from Birth by Sleep. He's the one who's brought them all here. Ooh, early teacups. That's actually really nice. I love to see that. We're gonna pop Meow out here to kill all these floods. I'm gonna jump up. Hopefully Buzzsaw. Pop these teacups, and if I'm lucky, all of these floods will come out of the ground into the teacups and die from that. I think one flood stayed underground. Unfortunately, I got hit out of my full shot lock as well. Mike gave me an ether. That's very kind of him. Mike really is a homie here. And I'm just gonna combo this flood to kill it. Probably would have been faster to use magic, but combos are cool too. Monsteropolis also has a few rails here. This is our first time really seeing one of these rails. We'll see them a little bit later as well, but Sora slides on them, and we can also shoot. And the super slide that I'm doing when I'm hitting square here, and Sora's doing this quick turn, actually scales with our super slide level on our abilities. So on a run like Crit, where you start with air slide and super slide level 3, as opposed to the level 1 that we start with on beginner, we can actually get through this section faster, because that super slide takes us farther. But even on beginner, it's faster to just keep spamming this super slide whenever we can, to get across these rails a little faster. This fight's very fun, because we're gonna Meow Wow. I'm gonna hit some things to try and preserve my arrows here. Doesn't really do much for me, but we're gonna Meow Wow again. Pop an ether here. Full shot lock these large bodies. So this fight is based on laugh power. You can see at the top left corner of the screen. As we kill enemies, that laugh power meter's going to go up. As Sully gets hit, that laugh power meter goes down. And then once it fills up, we get access to a command called Scream Strike, which we can use to end the fight. Which we should get here. So one of the really nice things, since we have Mage's Earring on, and we get that magic treasure magnet, everything that we kill with magic, all of the drops from it come directly to us. Using a link counts as being magic, so all the MP orbs from those enemies just immediately get funneled back to us. We're able to get our Meow Wow up again even faster. Now we're on another rail, so a little bit of downtime here. Just a little auto-scroller here on this rail. You can see I'm ducking behind these doors to avoid this lightning. On a category, again, like Crit, where you have that longer super slide, it's a lot easier to actually super slide through the lightning, and you'll be invulnerable. On beginner, super sliding through the lightning is incredibly difficult. I haven't taken the time to realize, like, really practice it and see how tight of a window it is to get through. But every time that I've tried it, I've failed it, so I haven't even looked into it more than that. I'm gonna hit here to get closer to that enemy, and it's faster than dodge rolling that whole way to the door. And we're gonna do some more movement here towards this door. We have a few cool movement sections coming up in this run, in this world. The laser rooms here. We're going to see one in about a minute as I come up these staircases. So a lot of lasers. Randall here, if you are familiar with Monsters, Inc., you can hear the Japanese Randall voice, which is actually very sinister and scary, as opposed to English Randall, who kind of sounds like a dork. He's laughing at us, and he wants to kill us with these lasers, but we can kind of just fly over them the whole way. And then break the console. Oh, Unison Fire. So that's actually an ability that Donald has. when you're near him, he has a chance of giving you that as your combo finisher. We hardly ever see it. It's not entirely worth equipping. I just do it anyways because I like Donald. And it can be nice when you have to clean up some areas and you don't have magic. Donald can come through with that Unison Fire to help you out. Up here we have an electric room fight. So again, more Meow Wow. Pop Meow Wow, immediately finish. This Toad ran forward. Luckily he didn't get behind me. I'm gonna pop an Ether here. Do a full shot walk. And then we're gonna Meow Wow again. Here. And luckily, we also have our focus at max, which means coming into this next section, we don't have to tent. If we didn't have max focused, I would throw a tent here. You get to do a super jump to skip a large portion of this room as well.
Let me interject here for a second.
Yep.
Thanks to a $100 donation from Anonymous, we have just hit 2K.
Oh my god.
And Anonymous says this is such a great cause, thanks to the organizers and runner of the event. That's awesome. I thank you so much, whoever you are, for that big boost.
Hey!
I just thank you. That's awesome.
Thank you, Anonymous Donator. That's really, really awesome. We're in the factory fight now. This also has a lot of Meow in it. And also a lot of floods that can bully me by just hiding underground. I'm gonna air slide here to get over to this Toad. This will also help to keep these flower snakes up in the air a little longer. Then we're gonna kill them with thunders. Pop an Ether here to get back to full MP. And do a Meow Wow, which will hopefully hit everything and finish. No! The floods are bullies. The floods are evil. Oh, there's that Unison Fire coming in clutch. Wonderful. Thank you, Donald. That's so awesome that it hit 2K. Oh, I'm so excited. Coming up here, I'm gonna hit a save point here. This is to refill my MP and focus. Like normal. We're gonna Blizzard here. That's not a very clean Blizzard, but I guess it's better than nothing. Another Blizzard here. Monstropolis has a good amount of places that are just long, flat stretches of land where there aren't enemies that get in our way. You can do these longer Blizzards, which is very nice. Now, you can see this whole factory's on fire. And what comes with fire? Flame cores! We're back from Olympus to torture us even more. Wonderful. We got Splash Run here, which is very useful. This is the same thing that we used in the Power Wilds fight. I'm gonna land down on this Flame Core on the left side. Hopefully, that completely ends the fight. That was a very clean fight. So that Splash Run, when it comes up, is not consistent. Dealing damage helps get that up. So doing those thunders before the shot walk helps to ensure that, hopefully... Ooh, awesome, cool. Hopefully you get that Splash Run, and then the shot walk ends up doing a hit on the flood before it can get away from you. We wanted to get Mirage Staff there in movement, which it's really nice that we did get it. We're going to be using Mirage Staff, which is that form change for Ever After, the very end of this run, or at the very end of this world, the boss Lump of Horror. Super slide off these rails here. Get some faster movement going down here. And again, we're gonna hit the save point to refill our MP and focus. Hope you're all ready for some more Meow Wow. Because there's Meow Wow number 1. And we're gonna throw 2 ethers and do another Meow Wow. This is called ether buffering. So that ether... The first ether gave me my MP back. The second ether came out after the Meow Wow did. So then I don't have to ether before the third Meow Wow. It just makes things play out slightly faster. We also get Simba here. Simba's a very good link, which we'll be seeing in the next world. Gonna super jump off this pipe to get up on the rail. And we're gonna jump up into the air to get a better line of sight on this toad here for this full shot lot. Because those flower snakes tend to get in the way on the ground. Pop Meow again, and Meow is gonna clean up all these flower snakes on the ground. We have Mirage Staff here, which we haven't used yet, and it's going to see its main use here very shortly. But the big thing is Mirage Staff, when you dodge in combat, it makes a clone. And you can do that up to 4 times. Each time it will make more clones, up to 4, and then it'll just start replacing older clones as you do more dodges. But each of those clones will then shoot with you, because it changes your combo to just shoot a bunch of projectiles. And we're going to be taking advantage of that here on Lump of Horror. Lump of Horror has very high resistances. So by making a bunch of clones and just shooting at him with all these little projectiles that are going to do little bits of damage, we're able to get a lot of damage out. I'm going to hug this corner. Shoutouts to Insert Logic for this positioning. There's a lot of runners who have had a hand in various parts of this run, and I'm unfortunately can't give credit to everybody for every single thing. But I'm gonna try for some of the big things. This has helped me out a lot. Logic's been nagging me to start doing this, but by hugging this back corner, we can just stay up in the air, keep making clones, and Lump has a very difficult time targeting us up here. Lump's HP is getting down. Unfortunately, we didn't get this DM skip here. But he's very low on health, so those Fyras take care of him. It's a bit RNG when he decides to go down to go into his next phase. Sometimes he can do it at a lot of health, sometimes he waits a bit longer. Mike in that fight also has an ability that cheers you on. And Mike cheering us on and giving us more damage, it's really nice. Helps us get more out on him. Helps us get that phase skip a little bit more consistently, but still comes down to what the game wants to do there. We're going to fly over to Arendelle now, making use of that waypoint that we unlocked on the way to Endymion. And then we're going to take a quick flight over to Arendelle. Yes, we will be doing some singing during this world. There is a cutscene that plays Let It Go, which the incentive for singing over that got reached. So when we do get there, I'm just going to let the cutscene play. I'm going to mute the game so that this doesn't get super DMC'd. I'm also going to take my headphones off, so I won't be able to hear in Discord, just so that I don't hear Japanese Elsa singing at the same time. And I have like the instrumental up on my phone, so I'll probably switch headphones to that as well, so I can hear it. But yeah. I'm singing in English. I can't sing in Japanese. I wish I could. I have no clue what the, the lyrics are for Let It Go in Japanese, unfortunately. We're gonna do 7 dodge rolls here in Air Slide to target this enemy in the back. And do some more Air Slide chains to get over to this cutscene trigger here. Can skip it when the camera starts to pan up there. If I could speak Japanese, I might, but that is not something I can do, unfortunately. We get to take advantage of, again, our flow motion movement here. Super jumps to get up on these walls. A lot faster than the intended way of, like, going around. And we have our old friend Rock Troll, throwback to Olympus here. We're gonna fight in brand new fashion with our new Link, Simba. So as you can expect from a world of snow and ice, a big fire lion is very, very, very good in this world. So we're gonna roar and jump around a bit to hopefully catch all of these deer before we double shot walk Rock Troll here. We did catch all the deer. That's wonderful. Exactly what we want to see. And Rock Troll will die to another full shot walk here. So we get to go into Ice Labyrinth now. Ice Labyrinth's a whole load of RNG. So in the story, I think Larxene, like, somehow has the power to make an entire labyrinth of ice that she traps us in, if I'm remembering correctly. And that's what we're going through now. So I'm going to take a menu here, equip an Ether, and equip a High Refocuser that I picked up in Monstropolis. We're swapping Mage's Earring for Fire Cufflink. I'm going to use a tent here to refill my MP and Focus, put Fyra on Customize, and eat a Chocolate Mousse to refresh our food, just to make sure it's up the whole time. And now we get to go through this Ice Labyrinth, which, for some reason, despite being like a very plain location, actually runs very, very poorly, at least on my PC. So there might be some drops in frame rate here on the game side as I do go through this. But there are 4 fights in this labyrinth, and each time we're just gonna pop Simba, use the finisher, and hope that it kills everything. If Simba connects with everything, he kills it. But unfortunately, these nobodies like to jump around a lot, so there's a chance that they jump away from Simba and are out of range. In which case we have to clean them up with a partial shot lock. But if we're lucky, we'll get them all. Gonna air step to that guy in the back, just to cut out some sliding there. Had a little trouble getting line of sight on him. And again. Here we go. Big lion. Cool, we're 2 for 2 here. Wonderful. Oh, oddly enough, this section spinning around, for whatever reason, takes longer on PC than it did on console. And it's not frame rate dependent either. It does the same on 30 FPS too. It's very weird. Fight 3 here. We're gonna pop Simba again. Good, that was delayed. The very last hit connected. Thank goodness. And we've got one more fight coming up. Again, same thing as before. We have a rail here, like the ones in Monstropolis. I'm gonna shoot some stuff here, just to make sure I don't get hit. I almost still got hit. Oh, I might be a little late shooting these. Yeah, we're getting hit. Unfortunate. Good super slide too. Hitting the walls at weird angles can get a little disorienting at times when you're expecting to come off the wall in a certain way, and then instead Sora like just goes woo off the wall directly across from where he wants to go instead of where you're planning on going. We're out of Ice Labyrinth now. We're gonna do some movement up to the top. This is gonna get us into the Let It Go cutscene, but before then, if there's anything else to talk about as well, feel free to now as we take this movement section up.
Let's see. Talk about rad for a second. If you believe in a world where everyone has access to hope, health, and happiness they deserve, you are rad. That is Rise Above the Disorder, a non-profit organization that got its roots within the gaming community, actually. It started within a World of Warcraft guild back in the day as Anxiety Gaming, and they since branched out to global mental health support, providing people with providing the cost for people with mental health needs all around the world. And here we go.
All right. Here it is. This is Let It Go. Again, I'm gonna swap headphones here so I can hear the instrumental somewhere else and make sure that the game is muted here, and I will unmute after. But enjoy. This is Let It Go. Oh, I skipped it. Oh my god. I was supposed to pause. Oh no. What I can do, actually, Thar, is it okay if I just close game and reopen and continue from the autosave here?
You could
So that we can.
you could close the game and load an autosave.
Yeah.
That would take
That
you
would
right
work.
outside the cutscene.
Cool. All right.
But that is
Wonderful.
so funny.
That is exactly something I would do. Perfect.
Oh my god.
Okay. Don't worry. It's coming. The suspense,
Speedrunning
gotta
muscle
build it
memory.
up a little more. Oh dear. Okay, the game's reopening now. Perfect. That is definitely clip-worthy. Also, for some reason, the game starts in 1440p on my monitor when I run it in 1080p, which is why that there is bigger than it otherwise would be. Okay, here we go. Continuing from the autosave. Luckily, Cage 3 has an autosave, which is very nice. Especially on PC, actually. We can take those autosaves out and rename them and make them proper save slots. It's really nice for practice.
IGT's invalid. He used to continue.
Oh no! I ruined it all. Alright, here we go. For real this time. I had to build up the suspense a little more. Wonderful. Where is this? Oh, this is... okay, cool. Perfect, I know where we are. It had me facing a different direction for a second. Confused. Okay, wonderful. I love Arendelle so much, I just wanted to spend some more time in it. It's definitely not one of my least favorite worlds casually. And one of the most stressful worlds in the run. Alright, Let It Go time. Enjoy, everybody. The snow glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen. The wind is howling like this swirling storm inside. Couldn't keep it in. Heaven knows I've tried. Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Well, now they know. Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, let it go. Turn away and slam the door. I don't care what they're going to say. Let the storm rage on. The cold never bothered me anyway. It's funny how some distance makes everything seem small, and the fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all. It's time to see what I can do to test the limits and break through. No right, no wrong, no rules for me. I'm free. Let it go, let it go. I am one with the wind and sky. Let it go, let it go. You'll never see me cry. Here I stand, and here I stay. Let the storm rage on. My power flurries through the air into the ground. My soul is spiraling in frozen fractals all around. And one thought crystallizes like an icy blast. I'm never going back. The past is in the past. Let it go, let it go. When I'll rise like the break of dawn. Let it go, let it go. That perfect girl is gone. Here I stand in the light of day. Let the storm rage on. The cold never bothered me anyway. Alright. We're back. That was Let It Go. Now we get to skip more cutscenes. Yay! My mic peaking? Aw, sad. Alright, well, we get a break now. This is Frozen Slider. This is the big Trinity sled. It is a very long auto-scroller. I think it's like 1:40, where we just have to avoid these frost serpents. So, if there is anything else to talk about as well, feel free to chime in.
No donations right now. No more incentives for us to run, and we just talked about Rad. But Swift, that was lovely. Beautiful.
I'm glad I could.
Beautiful rendition. We'll be sure to clip that. Send it to you first. Ask your permission to tweet it, then tweet it anyway.
Awesome. Sounds wonderful.
I'm just kidding. But yeah. This is a very boring part of the run. For beginner runners, a lot of people... Did you buy a Kupo coin?
I did. Yep.
Yeah. A lot of beginner runners like to use this as a bathroom break. Assuming they have a Kupo coin, you just go to the bathroom and your Kupo coin will bring back to life if you get killed. Gives you pretty much the only bathroom break in the run, especially with the loads now on PC.
Yeah.
You don't really have any other chance.
So why not sing during the auto-scroller? The cutscene adds to the spectacle. Such a beautiful cutscene. Also, the auto-scroller is like half the length of the song. And I actually kind of have to focus on the next part so I don't crash into trees. Which probably will still happen even if I do focus. But coming up, this is the second phase of the Trinity Sled, which is less auto-scrollery and more money-y, where we're gonna follow the money here. Get a bunch of money for ethers later. I don't actually know how much money we get here, but it's a lot. It gives us a lot of money. And we're going to be making good use of it when we get into the next world. We're going to take quite a hefty shop there, and it'll be good. So this is the part I was talking about where I might crash into a tree. Hopefully that doesn't happen. It looks like we're lined up properly. Good. Wonderful. Going between those trees to grab that money is easy, but it's one of those things. Oh, the game's still muted! Oh my goodness. There we go, it's back. It's back. I muted it so that we wouldn't have the let it go going and get DMCA'd. And I forgot to bring it back after. There we go. You didn't miss anything. You didn't miss much. Thank you for catching that, Oathkeeper. Alright, Frost Serpent's time. I crashed into a wall. Wonderful. It's better than crashing into a tree, I guess. So we're going to take the time here. We're going to do full Fire combo. We have Fire uncustomized now, which we did at the start of Ice Labyrinth, and do a full shot lock, which will iframe us through these ice attacks. More fires into Firaza, and then more fires on this Frost Serpent here. So there's another cutscene here that we can skip on the black screen. Kind of like the one where we don't want Kairi to talk, but this time it's Olaf that we don't want to talk here. He says like, wow, look at all these pretty colors or something. I think. I don't know what that translates to in Japanese, but he would have said something along those lines. And speaking of Olaf, we now get a section where we get to put Olaf back together. So Olaf is made of 3 pieces that have all been scattered across this area. We're gonna jump up here, get above this wall, and grab his body. Come on down here to this big snowball. We're gonna ride it into this wall and crash into it. Olaf's head's gonna pop out. He gets a little bit of a concussion, but it's okay. And we're gonna grab his legs. More Simba coming up. This is a 3-wave fight, or a 2-wave fight. We're gonna double roar here, pop the finisher, and hopefully, if we're lucky, things won't jump away from us. Things did jump away from us. What jumped away from us? It's a deer. We're gonna take another menu here, because we just got access to an accessory slot. So we're gonna put on Mage's Earring, which we were using before. We're gonna put on Grand Magic Extender, Air Combo Plus, Combo Master, Air Slide, Double Flight. Air Slide, level 2, makes our Air Slide go further. Double Flight is that double jump that we were using in Double Arrow Guns and Magic Launcher earlier. Grand Magic Extender extends the amount of time that we have to use our Grand Magic commands that we get. And Combo Master is going to make it so that when we start a combo, we don't actually have to be hitting an enemy now. So we can do physical combos just for free on the air, which we're going to be using on Skull, the boss of this world. which is a strat that Yida developed. Yida Moda, who's the current world record holder for beginner any percent on PC. Which the time for world record now is very impressive. It's sub 2 loadless. Sub 2 hours. It's 1:59. Gonna hit that enemy just to get a little bit more distance there. Air slide and jump off this wall. Do some more hits to keep myself up in the air. And then if we're lucky, I can hit buttons at a good speed. Can chain some air slides here on this downward slope coming into Marshmallow. If you've watched Frozen, you've seen Marshmallow. He's the big, scary snowman. And we get to fight him here. I'm gonna do a full fire combo moving away from him. Do another 3 fires Firaza, 2 fires Ether. Do another full fire combo in Firaza to hopefully launch him up in the air. And we're gonna Ether again. Do more fires to keep him suspended up there. Pop that Firaza when we get it, and finish him off with a full shot walk. Nice fight. That fight can be a little bit scarier sometimes. Marshmallow there can put up armor, and when he does have armor up, we want to use Mirage Staff ever after Shot Walk to get rid of his armor. But it loses time when he does armor up. There is a chest back there that has a force ring in it, which we used to pick up in the route, but things have changed now. We're going to be skipping it. We're coming up to the scariest boss fight in the whole run, which is Skull. He's the big wolf at the end of this world. I think everybody who has run Cage 3 on any difficulty probably can attest to how scary Skull is to get to in a run. Even with the strat that we have now, it's very consistent, it's very fun to pull off. Getting here and knowing that Skull can use his desperation move, his DM, really sucks. Because his DM loses you about 40 seconds to a minute every time he does it, and he can do it twice if the fight goes really poorly. But as long as this goes well, we should hopefully see a DM-less fight. So we're gonna pop Simba here. There's a snowstorm here that's going to blow us back. The snow here also stops us from being able to jump with Sora. But the game still allows us to use Lynx here. So we can just pop Simba, and Simba can run very fast and also jump. Just gonna ride Simba all the way through here. And riding Simba into the fight, actually, because the game reverts you from its Link, it doesn't want to, like, take all your MP away from you, because that's unfair. What it does is it puts you into the fight at half MP. So I can use 1 Ether to get back to full MP, which is very nice. Big focus time. This is Skull. I'm going to dodge roll back and do a full shot walk at the start. Then he's going to come around. I'm going to dodge roll forward Ether and then dodge roll through him. Dodge roll forward Ether. Dodge roll through him. We're going to do 3 hits, 2 fires, and a full shot walk here. That's where Combo Master comes in handy to allow us to do those empty hits at the start and get to the fire finisher faster. Full fire combo. Pop the Hyrie Focuser. 4 fires into the Firaza. We're going to Ether, do another full fire combo. And do a full shot walk on him. And now we're going to finish him off here. Put some more fires into a Firaza, and then a partial shot walk to kill. Very good fight. No DMs. That's the part I was most worried about from today. But we did it. So that strat has gone through quite a few iterations. This game's been out for 2 years now, and there's been a lot of time spent on Skull from a lot of different people to try and make this fight go as smoothly as it possibly can. And the current strat that I just used, again, credits to Yitamoda for that strat. It's a very, very good strat. It's very fast as well. Extremely consistent. When things do go wrong, it's pretty much because you messed up somewhere. Which is a lot better than how things were like the first 3 months of the game being out, where we had no clue how Skull worked. And we'd get there and we'd all lose time and we would cry. But now we're on the way to Caribbean, which is the Pirates world. And this is my least favorite world in the game and in the run. But we get to see Sora be a pirate, so that's cool. Also, we get Japanese Captain Jack Sparrow, too, who is interesting. So this world opens up, we have to catch the Black Pearl, because these Heartless are taking it away from us, so we're gonna just do some blizzards here to get up to it. And then again, I'm gonna super slide off to hit this enemy a little earlier and catch up to the Black Pearl. And now these two Heartless that stole the ship are gonna come out. These are Anchor Raiders. We're gonna kill them both with 3 fires into a full shot lock. All these fires will connect. They're kind of looping around him right now. I think that last one might miss. Did miss. He can get a little bit of this next part of the shot lock, and hopefully that'll take him out. It's fine too. So now we actually get to ride the Black Pearl here, which the game's going to give us a little tutorial on how ship combat works. You have to take out 2 ships. Every ship in Caribbean is going to have this big glowing orb. It's its weak point. We're mostly going to be trying to hit those. Nice. Unfortunately, those orbs' positions on the ships aren't consistent, so for a lot of these fights we have to react to where the orbs are and which directions the ships are facing and all of that stuff. We're also coming up to the most unfun boss in the run, which is Raging Vulture. We have to do a lot of torpedoes here. If there are any donations or anything to talk about, feel free to do it while I just spam the circle button to kill him. Hitting for this is probably the worst part. The game doesn't give us a hard lock on like other fights, and there's a lot of enemies that just fly in front of us and steal our targeting from us. The game also wants us to get on his back, but we're not going to do that. It's actually faster to just spam torpedoes. Torpedoes actually count as fire damage, and we have double fire boost, so we're getting a lot of damage from all these torpedoes. He should go down here when this connects, I think. And then we can kill here. Oh, I see. It's hard to step away for a few minutes. He sent me a DM, I didn't see it because I have streamer mode enabled. Yep. Alright, we're gonna take a shop here. This is the big one. We're gonna buy 2 Crypt Suzettes, 2 Force Rings, and a bunch of Ethers. Gonna go into the workshop here. And the goal here is to get the magic boost, which we did get at the end there. Cool. We also get Mog card. Etchy Mog. We're gonna put on another Ether and then swap the Mage's Earring and our Rune Ring for Force Rings. Force Rings are 4 magic accessories that have an ability called Full MP Blast on them. And Full MP Blast makes it so that when we are at full MP, our magic that we cast ends up doing more damage. And that actually stacks, so having 2 sets of Full MP Blast actually makes our first cast extremely powerful. This was a reroute done by Insert Logic back when he was running the game on console. Towards the end of last year, we used to run Force Ring, a Sorcerer's Earring, and Celestiad through the end of this run, but now, instead of the Sorcerer's Earring, we just use another Force Ring. Ends up making our damage even better. We're gonna open up this chest. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, he's gonna eat me! Okay, this is Lightning Angler. He's a big fish. And he likes to eat people. We're doing fires here. It's actually faster to just dodge out of our combo instead of doing the finisher up until the very end. Because the finisher animation is longer, but all those fires end up doing the same damage while we're underwater. When we're on ground, or in the air, or not in the water, finishers get a multiplier that makes them deal more damage, but when we're underwater here, all of those casts end up doing the same amount of damage. This is on PC, yeah. So coming up here, we're gonna jump, air slide, go through here. We get our own ship now. This is the Leviathan. And it's our own personal ship. Our very own ship. Now we're true pirates. We're gonna open this chest. This is a Celestiad. I'm gonna cure to put myself an MP charge. We're gonna pop on Favorite Deputy. Celestiad. Do some abilities. We're putting on Air Slide. We're putting on Super Slide. And we're putting on Counter Kick. And then we're also going to put on Thundaga, which we got as well. So we got Thundara back in Ice Labyrinth. We actually got it from the second fight there, but we never needed to use it at all. Thundaga, on the other hand, is absolutely ridiculous. It's big, it hits very hard, it's really, really good, especially in these larger group mob fights. I'm killing 2 ships here, and there's a reason for that why I'm not killing the third one. If you look at our bottom left now, with the Leviathan, we have a bar. It's similar to situation command arrows that we would get in normal fights, but this bar builds up as we kill ships, destroy orbs, or break sails. And once it fills up, we get a command. That command is based on the color of the orb that is on the ship that we filled our bar with. So the last part of the bar. So these green orbs in the race give us Tailwind. This is actually a race-specific command. Later on, it'll be Wind Chasers that we get from green orbs. Blue orbs give Tidal Wave, and red orbs give Raging Cannons. This is a race against Luxord, or Luxord, or however you want to call his name, the card man. And it's very rubber bandy, so he's kind of just gonna keep this same distance with us up until the end. No matter how fast we are, the Tailwinds help speed us up, but it doesn't really make a difference for Luxord's positioning. It does make a difference for when we actually get out of the race, though. To explain the lore, we're in the Caribbean. Luxord's looking for a box. Zigbar of the organization wants a black box, but he won't tell anybody what's inside the black box. And he sent Luxord to come here to look for the black box, but the black box isn't here. And we're racing him to, like, learn about the black box, I think, and then he's just like, nope, I'm gonna kill you instead when we beat him, so he's dishonorable.
Real quick.
Yes.
I apologize for
Welcome back.
being AFK like that. I had to take care of something with my dogs real quick. But I got $50 from Mobile Keys, and he says, as promised, here's $50, $1 for every time you bonk during this run. Congrats on getting the DM skip. And thank you very much, Mobile.
Thanks, Mobile. If anybody does want to have a fun time and maybe lose some money, feel free to donate for each time I crash in the last gummy ship mission. I'm very good at driving, and it's a lot of closed halls and tight spaces. But I'll do my best to not bonk, and I'll donate as well for every time I crash as soon as the run's over. So I'll try my best to not bonk.
Match that.
Hey. Alright, so we're getting onto Luxord's ship here. We're gonna board his ship and fight. Now we get to see the real power of Thundaga, which is going to one-shot everything in this fight except for the Anchor Raiders and the large bodies. And even on those, it's gonna do a ton of damage. Gonna Ether here to get full MP Blast. Double Thunder here and fire this to kill it. And then we're gonna do more Thunders to clean off these enemies. Ether again to get full MP Blast. Thunder, Thundaza. And pop 3 Thunders to kill these. Coming up, we have what is actually probably one of my favorite parts of the whole run. Even though I said entering this world that this is my least favorite world in the game, this section is very cool. This is Crab Collection. This has gone through a lot of changes as well. Huge shoutouts to Logic, Yida, Dessa, and KBM for inputs on this current route. I'm popping a tent here to refill my MP and focus. We're gonna dive down to break this crate. So if you see at the top right, the game wants us to get 300 crabs. We're actually not going to do that. We're gonna get 500, which will reward us with a extra high-leveled ship. We'll get level 3 ship instead of the level 1 that we do have normally. We're gonna hit this tree once, and air slide away from it and get on the sled. And Trinity Sled has like a magnet effect, where it will pick up all of the crabs that are loose, so not the ones that are like stuck to the ground or in barrels or whatever, but it'll pick up all the loose crabs that are near us. Gonna break these barrels with a shot lock, and then come over here and do a thunder and get on the sled, and this should gather a bunch of crabs here. Then we're gonna take this sled up the path, and we're gonna take it through the fort. There's a good chance that I do crash here in the fort. We're gonna take a few intentional bounces. So we want to bounce off 3 walls. That's 1, that's 2, and then this will be 3, that's 4. Unfortunately, I double hit that wall, but if we only crash 3 times, we get to keep this sled to break those last 4 boxes instead of having to manually break them. Now we're gonna use Favorite Deputy. This was found originally by KBM and was brought into the beginner route by Yida. But we can use Favorite Deputy Shotlock to break all those barrels and pick up a bunch of those crabs, then just come up here, thunder those boxes, and get on a sled and leave. What we used to do on beginner was we used to take mad teacups that we would get off those enemies and spin the teacups around to break those barrels. But it ends up being faster, especially on PC, with the loads for equipping a Keyblade being removed by the load remover. It ends up being faster to equip Favorite Deputy in a menu, and then use Favorite Deputy here instead. So, that's our level 3 ship that we get for 500 crabs. It's very nice of the game. Once you collect 500, it boots you back to the ship because it doesn't want you to get any more. And then it just gives you those upgrades. We're leaving Caribbean now. This is kind of like what we did earlier in Toy Box, where we left to go to Corona and then came back. We're doing the same thing here. We're leaving Caribbean before it's done to go to San Francisco to get some tools from there. And then we're going to come back to Caribbean and finish that world off once we're a little bit more powerful. But collecting those 500 crabs is going to come in handy when we do go back to Caribbean 2, and I'll explain what those differences are when we do come back and I'm actually in the ship. But losing the time there to pick up those extra 200 crabs ends up saving time overall when we do go back to the world. San Francisco, this is one of my favorite worlds in the run. We're going to use a lot of Thundaga here, so this is part of the reason why we go to Caribbean first, is so that we get Thundaga. I'm actually on the wrong Keyblade, I need to switch. It's a good thing that we have double full MP blasts, so even with Favorite Deputy, that first Thunder does kill. We're going to Thunder all of these, Ether, do another Thunder, and another Thunder there. Ether again. We're going to Thundaza, and use Sea Spectacle, which we also got from Caribbean. This is Ariel. And she jumps and makes a bunch of projectiles rain down. And she hits very, very, very hard. All of those projectiles do a lot of damage. We also have Water Boost, which we equipped back in Kingdom of Corona. And on big targets that don't really flinch and knock back from the projectiles that Ariel makes, we're able to get a ton of damage out. So that Metal Troll in particular. And we're going to see Ariel used again later on in this world. So those are the two big reasons we go to Caribbean first, are to get Thundaga and to also get Ariel, because they make this world so much nicer. This is Flash Tracer. This is our training. We're going to jump off the ledge here instead of following the path that the game wants us to. So the game lines out all these rings, and it's like, hey, go through all the glowing rings and get a bunch of points. But the checkpoints that the game makes sure that you go through are actually, like, way different than what it explicitly tells you to do. So instead of having to, like, go up the building at the start, we just hop over the ledge and go down. And the game's like, okay, you did everything you needed to. You can keep going. But there's a few things that we get to skip here. This route's very cool. So we're gonna super slide over here. Air slide over to this fan, get blown up by this fan, and I'm gonna air step through. Oh, it's a little too far forward there. What we intend to do there is to air step through the top ring there, so that instead of getting the long fall that I did, we instantly air step down to the ball. I was a little too far forward and hit the ring there. We're gonna air step to this light in the back, air step up to this building, air step over here, then to this one. Then to that one. I canceled a little bit earlier than I wanted to, but that's okay. We can just air slide over and hit this ring at the top. Ideally, you want to see sub 1 there. Unfortunately, with that air step mishap on the ball, that loses about 4 or 5 seconds on that timer. We also got another link here. I don't know who that is. Hopefully we won't see him this run. But I think he's a little blue Disney alien. And if all goes well, we won't see him at all. So we're coming up here to a big building fight. I'm gonna jump here and do a thunder as I move. To kill some enemies, it helps me get arrows, and it also just gets me a little bit extra XP, which is nice. We're gonna jump into the air, do 3 thunders. I'm gonna ether here because I have to do some more thunders. Thundaza and Erosa here. That should kill everything. And then this is Catastrochorus, a big dinosaur, and we're gonna use Ariel again. You can see on my links there we have a new link at the bottom, which is Stitch. And it's very important that I don't accidentally use Stitch when I mean to use Ariel here. Okay. That's Catastrochorus down at 1 HP. I'm hoping, there we go. Baymax will ether me there. And now shoutouts to Etchy, a once KH3 runner turned Pokemon runner for this air step here. We can actually, from the ground here, air step up to this building, target Catastrochorus from super far away, and kill with an arrow. That's the etch step. Up on a timed segment here where I'm going to be picking up a bunch of money. We're going to air slide over here. Hit this chest. This is a magic boost. Then air step over to these lamps. Or go this way. And now we get to pick up money. All of these lights have money in them. These street lamps here. So we're gonna meow wow. Hit all these street lamps, and then I'm gonna go around and pick up this money here. So we want to pick up this here, which doesn't get hit by the meow wow. That doesn't get hit by the meow wow. This vending machine here doesn't get hit by the meow wow. Pick up all this money, and then we're going up to the top of this building to pick up a chest here, which has Storm Fan in it. This sells for 400 money, which is equivalent to 2 ethers. And now we wait. We're just waiting for Dark Cubes to end the fight here. There's a chance that he attacks twice, and it takes longer, but he didn't do that now. That's very nice to see. We're doing Big Hero 6 rescue now, so these 4 members of Big Hero 6 are all trapped by the Dark Cubes we were just in that timed segment with. We've got to free them. So we free Wasabi there by dropping down on him from above. Here we have to free Honey Lemon by hitting all this goop with magic. And these are all color-coded, so I'm gonna hit them with the magic that matches their color. So fire for the red ones, thunder for the yellow ones, and then water or blizzard work for the blue ones. We're gonna pick up this chest, which is a magic boost. Air step up here, blizzard this, fire this, and go back here to this building. And then air step to this pole back here. Now we have to free Fred, who is trapped in between those light poles. Then air step to this tree to get back very quickly. Air step to this pole to get onto this big ball, where we now have to catch Go-Go, who is trapped in this big ball of Dark Cubes. She runs towards you this entire section, so it's very important that we don't make too many mistakes here, because she's just on a cycle where she runs, and catching her here when she's here by the ball, as opposed to when she's run past it and is running somewhere else, it's very, very important. We're gonna air step up to the top of this building here, then air step up to this one, double flight up to here and take another menu. So here we're gonna equip Hero's Glove, I'm gonna equip Magic Galvanizer and another Super Slide. We're gonna use all 3 magic boosts that we have, customize Firaga, and eat the Crepe Suzette. Which I didn't actually eat earlier. I've been low on magic. I was wondering why Lightning Iglor took a while. I have an extra Crepe Suzette then, which I guess I'll sell later. Oh, Erosa. Okay. Dark Cubes here. We do a bunch of fires to stunlock him and then go into a full shot lock to kill. Seeing Erosa there is a little weird. Again, that's because of Ever After. It's built in that we have a chance to get it. And now we're almost done with this world. We've just got one more auto-scroller here that we have to do. Well, the first part's an auto-scroller at least. But this is Dark Baymax that's coming up. It's a boring and anticlimactic end to this world, but there is one cool thing about it, and that's that if we hold R2 here while we skip this cutscene as we go into the fight, Sora will actually shoot at Dark Baymax. Get some extra damage on him. So if you look at the health bar as we come in here, you'll see he's not actually at full when we come in. We get a few shots on him as that fades in, which I guess is cool. Doesn't really make much of a difference, but hey, it's there. And now we just shoot him. We just get to hold R2. Sometimes Sora, which I haven't had happen in a while, but sometimes Sora will just randomly stop shooting. And he'll reload his Keyblade or something. Just not shoot. But again, it hasn't happened in a while. Hopefully it won't happen now. It's not a big deal, but it is a little bit annoying when it does happen. Dark Baymax also has these... Oh, there. He just did it there. Wonderful. Well, at least he did it at a time where I couldn't be shooting, so that's cool. He shoots these blocks at us that we can punch back. They deal damage. They don't deal much damage on beginner. On higher difficulties, I think they do more. Oh, he reloaded again. Oh, dear. Please hit him. Please hit him. Don't. Okay. Oh, that was a little scary. If he keeps going, he runs into this tunnel, and that's not something we want to see at all. Alright, and now second phase of this fight. We're trapped in this little arena here in the city, and we're just going to keep shooting him. I'm going to punch this block back at him just so that it's not in the way, because that block will eat my targeting. Also, cool to note is once you stagger here in this fight, you won't stagger again. So I can just tank all of these hits and not have to worry about like flinching backwards. We'll punch these blocks again just to get rid of their influence on my targeting. Just keep shooting. Yeah, there we go. And that's San Francisco done. All we have to do now is finish Caribbean, and that's going to be the last of our Disney worlds. And then we have a few more original KH worlds that we're going to see. But we're getting somewhat close to the end here. We also get Nano Gear as our Keyblade here, which we're going to see a little bit use of later. But as I skip cutscenes here and we go back to Caribbean, if there's anything to talk about, feel free to chime in.
Nothing really to talk about now.
Cool. KH3 has a lot of cutscenes. Especially towards the end here. The game wants to give you a bunch of story stuff, especially as you come out of these last Disney worlds and you start to get to like the original KH stuff. This is where it really like pours the story on you. Really nice that we're on PC and we have shorter loads, because some of these loads, especially if you're on a like base PS4, original release PS4 without a solid state hard drive, oh my goodness, those loads are brutal. But now we're back in Caribbean. Caribbean is very nice. Very nice. If it's nice to me. I'm trying to say this to like bribe it to be nice to me. I don't know if it'll work or not, but for getting level 3 ship, we get a ability called Surge, which I'm using right now. Every time I hit circle, we get this dash forward. So it saves time and movement. We also get stronger cannons as well for being at level 3. So we end up doing more damage than we would at level 1, which helps with the upcoming fight, and it helps with the fight after that, which are going to be 2 ship fights back to back. Again, I'm killing 2 ships here to get my bar in a good position, because going into the next fight, our positioning on the bar, on the bottom left, for our commands carries over, but any commands that we get here won't. So I just want to kill 2 to get my bar so that it's close to being filled, but not actually fill up the bar and get a command. And now we have Shipwreck Cove, which is one of my least favorite fights in the whole run, because it's a lot of pirate ships, and I'm not great at ship combat, but we'll see what we can do today. These are all facing me. That's really good. So these ships, like we have Surge, they also have Surge. So they like to run around a lot and avoid our shots here. I'm going to shoot the sail on this ship. Taking out the sail of a ship actually fills bar as well. So it's worthwhile to do that. It also stops a ship from moving. I'm trying to get... There we go. Our bar is good here. We have every command that we want here. I'm going to Tidal Wave. This should hopefully kill all of these ships if I'm lucky. And that positioning works out. Good. And our bar is in a position that once I break 1 orb, I'll get another command. And lucky for us, the big boss that we have to fight here has red orbs on his ship. And red orbs give raging cannons. So I can pop the raging cannons that I've stored up here to break all of these orbs, and then hopefully not destroy this one. Shoot that one. Oh, I was under on bar. I was very slightly under. Well, okay, we still got raging cannons. That's totally fine. I was 2 shots under on my bar, which is very hard to tell visually. but it still works out, especially now that we have level 3 ship. Destroying those orbs with the damage that we do is a little bit nicer than it was with level 1 ship. But the goal there is to break all of that ship's orbs before he teleports away, which he does after a certain period of time. So getting that one cycle there and not having to wait for him to teleport away and then come back is really nice. We have another boss here. This is the Kraken. And you'll see here, that's the Flying Dutchman is going to periodically spawn in different positions here around me. And I'm going to want to shoot that red orb on it in order to build my bar up. And then whenever the Flying Dutchman isn't here, we're going to be wanting to shoot at these tentacles. The tentacles in the center, not the tentacles on the outside. The tentacles on the outside act as walls that we have to kind of avoid. They also get destroyed after taking a certain amount of damage, but the only thing that can really destroy them is raging cannons. Take another shot here. We're going to shoot that ship. And then I'm going to speed up a little bit. We can speed up and slow down, but that's the only influence we have over our movement here. Going to try and make the most of these windows here where there aren't tentacles in my way. This spawn is really bad, where the Flying Dutchman spawns right in front of me, because now his sails eat my shots that I'm trying to get on Kraken. But one more shot here should get me raging cannons, and we can pop that to kill. Now we have Davy Jones. Part of the reason that we left is we got Magic Galvanizer, which makes it so that as our combos increase in length, our magic deals more damage. We also got Fyraga from San Francisco, and we also got our magic up. So I'm going to bring Davy Jones up here, hit him to stagger him, do a full fire combo, Ether, do 4 fires, guard him and counter kick him, and then do a full fire combo into Fyraza, Ether again, and do another... Oh, I Ether buffered that fire. I am so ridiculously lucky that this worked. I cannot believe that. Oh my god, I got so lucky. Basically, for that fight, we don't want Davy Jones to touch the ground. When he touches the ground and he's at a certain HP gate, he teleports away and hits us with a desperation move. And if I'd not Ether buffered my fire, I would have been able to do a fire combo that kept him in the air. But unfortunately, I did the Ether and then cast the fire before the Ether actually came out. So I put myself into MP charge, and then I had to run up to him and stagger him physically to get another Ether out to send him up into the air, which was a very close call, but we pulled it off. Exciting. We get to play as Riku again here. This is the Realm of Darkness again. And we get to fight the same enemy that we fought before, but he's got a few new tricks up his sleeve that hopefully we won't see, but he can actually spawn Anti-Aqua here. And we're going to do a certain amount of damage here, specifically so that we don't push him past the point where he would be able to spawn Anti-Aqua. Once he's lost a little more than a bar of health, he has the ability to spawn Anti-Aqua. So we're doing physical hits here to build up Dark Fyraga, and now I'm just going to stop, because I don't want to push him any further. So now he doesn't have the chance at spawning Anti-Aqua, because that's slow. We're going to Dark Fyraga here. Do 3 Thunders, Ether, Thundaza, Double Thunder, and the fight's over. And Sora comes here. Now we get to fight Anti-Aqua, and we're going to open this up with a Shot Lock. And I'm going to wait here for her to wave her arms down before I pop the Shot Lock. And if all goes well, we'll stagger her. We didn't get the stagger, unfortunately, but that's fine, because we can just catch her here and fire her to death. Now, the timing on that stagger is a bit weird, but I use her arms swinging down as a visual cue. It also depends on what pattern she does, because the window to stagger her is different. We get to go to the Land of Departure now. So this is the world from Birth by Sleep. We also get to play as Aqua. This is the only time we get to play as Aqua in the run. We're fighting Vanitas. Aqua plays a lot like she does in 0.2, but her Spellweaver combos are worse in this game. I am a biased 0.2 runner though. But she hits hard at least. Unfortunately, we only have her for this bad fight, because Vanitas is annoying. And he can kind of just do whatever he wants here. So, we're gonna switch to Aqua here, and my goal here is for Vanitas to not go underground. So we're gonna do a full fire combo and full shot lock Vanitas. And now we just hope that Vanitas chooses to not go underground, which he's doing. And that's fine. Gonna Ether here. Again, full fire combo into full shot lock. This time he's kept in the air, which is a nice position for him to be in. We're gonna fire him again here. Hit him with that Firaza. And now we just have to physical combo him to death. Vanitas going underground is a little bit slower. It's not the biggest deal, but is a bit annoying just because it's better when he's up and he's actually getting hit by stuff than when he's under the ground and the shot lock lives. Differences with Aqua. So one of the big differences is her Spellweaver combos in 0.2. When you mix in fires, the fires come out faster. That makes her combos feel a lot nicer in 0.2, in my opinion, as somebody who's played the game for a long time. But they come out slower in this game. But that's the big difference. And then Shotlock's not contributing to arrows is also a big one as well, which would be great for Vanitas. Because we'd be able to get like double Firaza up off her Shotlock, and that would be awesome, but fortunately that's not the case. Again, there's a bit of downtime here while we just skip these cutscenes. But we're coming up towards the last set of worlds in the run. This is the last Gummy Ship mission. I'll donate $5 for every time I crash here. Hopefully I don't crash too much, but we'll see. So Endymion goes very fast, as I mentioned before, and we like to mash these boosts out a lot. But as you can also see, this is a lot of tight, closed hallways. And it can be very hard to get through these without crashing. We're gonna pop the camera open here, because that stops our momentum. I'm gonna boost here again and pull up. And then coming out of this nebula, we're gonna boost up towards the next one. I might actually get through this without crashing. There's a clip on my channel of me crashing, I think, 16 plus times in this gummy in one attempt. I've had some very, very bad stretches here. Since I didn't crash there, I'll count yellow lasers if I get hit by yellow lasers here, because this is actually a difference with the PC version. Now that gummies are running at a higher frame rate, in this next phase, there are going to be yellow lasers that come out of the bottom of this boss. And when the gummies ran at 30 FPS, which they were locked to on console, these lasers were never an issue. They couldn't even touch you. But 60 FPS and higher has messed them up apparently, and they can hit you. That one actually missed me. Oh my god. Okay, there's one. Alright, I'll take that. One is fine. One hit is okay. It's much better than what I've had before. It gets hard to avoid those too. You can kind of spam square to do like that dodge roll thing, but when you're holding it a direction, which I normally am as I try to shoot those things on the ship, the dodge takes you in that direction. So I try not to dodge as much when I'm shooting something and moving, and it leads to me getting hit there sometimes. Now we have the lovingly named 10k fight after the 1k Heartless fight in KH2. We're gonna start this off by doing a buzzsaw here to get double arrow guns. I also got Mirage Staff instead of Thundaza, which is actually a really nice thing that I was not expecting at all. I'm gonna pop double arrow guns and Mirage Staff here. and do some thunders. Switch back to Shooting Star. So this was developed by Insert Logic and Dutch Potato. I believe it was also found independently by someone else as well. I think maybe even prior to them labbing this out, but I don't remember exactly who.
Yeah, it was Saxor.
Oh, it was Saxor.
He found it. He found it a week before Logic did, and oh man, that was pretty funny.
But double arrow guns here actually does a ton for us. I'm gonna try and build it up again here on this troll. Not Trinity Guard, Goofy. Thank you. I appreciate the support. But we can just keep doing 3 hits of double arrow guns, and then sliding out of it to not do the finisher. And these projectiles go off the sides and just hit a bunch of these shadows. You can see that enemy bar at the top left is depleting pretty rapidly as we do this. Now we've gotten Mountain Coaster. This fight is actually impossible to end without using Mountain Coaster. You have to use it to finish it. The fight won't end unless you keep using... unless you finish it using this finisher, which you want to use as soon as that information prompt pops up on the top left. That's your sign that the finish will actually finish the fight. But that's the 10k fight. It is theoretically an infinite Heartless fight because it can just go forever if you don't use the Mountain Coaster finisher. How many ethers? I have 1 ether. Marathon safety, we're gonna pick this up. I probably don't need this, but we'll be safe. So that item I just picked up is Cosmic Belt. It sells for 600 money, I believe. So that gets me an extra 3 ethers. Normally I see 2 ethers here. Seeing 1 is fine. It's because I used an extra ether on Davy. We're coming into one of the very cool movement sections of the run. This is the last cool movement section, pretty much. Unless you want to count the panels on the floor being switches for the doors. But this is Final World. We're blue now. Translucent blue. Because we are dead. And this is heaven. And we gotta put ourselves back together to reverse time and save the world and not be dead anymore. There's a cutscene there that gets triggered. This is, normally in the past, that cutscene was something that you would find on one of these stars by talking to it. But with the Remind DLC, they patched it so that this cutscene is just mandatory and happens after you collect enough Soras. Because it features one of my favorite characters in the game, Namine. And it's very important to the story for the Remind DLC. So they made it so that you can't miss it now. But now we have to pick up 111 Soras here. This route is very old. I believe it was developed by Nintendo all the way back in 2019. And it's gone through some minor revisions since then. There's a few different routes. Logic runs a different route that he developed. I haven't taken the time to learn it yet. They're both around the same speed, so it's kind of preference which route that you do. This is the one I feel more comfortable doing, so we're doing it. We're gonna come up here, grab these 3 Soras, air slide over to these 4, air step up to the top here, and there's a bunch of Soras up here that we're gonna grab here. Kind of just dodge roll back and forth and hit these Soras as they run around this circle. That's 91. That's more than I need here, actually. Oh, 92. This has been a good Sora collection. We're gonna pick up these 4. And then there's 10 on the ground here, so you want to be at 101 coming into this. I think I hit 112 Soras. We're gonna do something a little special here. It's gonna lose a little bit of time, but I've done this before. We're gonna have a little fun here. And shoutouts to Big Sid 119. We're gonna grab 119 Soras here. If I can get on this rail. There we go. Just to have a little bit of fun. Doesn't actually do anything, but cool nonetheless. But now we get back together. We are alive-ish now, kind of, sort of, I think. But all of our friends are dead, so we have to go save all of our friends. And they've been taken by the Grim Reaper himself. All these different liches that we're going to have to fight and kill to bring our friends back from the dead. So that's what we're going to do now. But before we do that, we're going to break the game a little bit with EXP Glitch, which was found by our very own Thar C1. It's very cool. We're going to take time here to sell. So I'm going to sell the crepe that I didn't use, because I don't want that for my food here. We're going to buy Mushroom Plus. We're going to buy Crab Beast, Sweet Bread, Sea Bass, Berries, and a bunch of Ethers. And the reason that we're buying all of this food is so that we can get Hearty Meal. In order to get Hearty Meal, you need 1+ food, or at least 1+ food. Just having 1 is good because it eliminates other options that we could be getting. But here we're going to be building up some commands, so I want to get Thundaza here, then I'm going to switch Keyblades to Shooting Star, and we're going to try and get Aeroga. I'm going to pop an Ether here, and we're going to Thundaza, Aeroga, hold Shot Lock, and watch the game slow down, and look at our XP to next level. Oh my goodness. We're strong now. I'm going to do a few more Thunders. I think that was a little slow. I'm just going to play this safe, because I want to make sure that I'm at the level I want to be at. This might be unnecessary. I might be at 37, but I'm going to play it safe anyways. And we'll come in here. I have the Ethers to do it since I picked up Cosmic Belt. Might as well be safe rather than sorry. But I might have just pushed myself. We want to hit level 36 there. So we come into this area at level 28. We want to gain 8 levels there. Doing Thundaza and then Aeroga, and going into the Shot Lock to slow the game down, it spawns enemies in. They die to the Thundaza, and then for some reason the interaction between like Thundaza and Aeroga instantly spawns the next wave in, and groups them up so that the Thundaza kills. And they just keep spawning and dying as fast as possible, and get a lot of XP out of it. Oh no, I did hit 36. Okay, cool, it was good I did that. We're going Nano Gear here, 2 Ethers. I'm gonna put on Glide, which we got from 10k, Combo Plus, and Thunder Boost. And we're gonna eat Hearty Meal. So the food that I just ate gives us an additional 4 magic. 2 from the berries, 1 from the Crab Beast, and then an extra 1 from Hearty Meal. The Combo Plus that we have 2 Combo Pluses now, which extends our base combo from being 4 hits to now being 6 hits when we're on the ground. We only have 1 air combo plus, so in the air it's still 4 hits, or 5 hits, sorry. As opposed to the 6 we get on the ground. But the good thing about having 6 hits is with Magic Galvanizer, the ability that increases our magic damage as our combos go longer, that 6th hit ends up being even stronger when we're on the ground, which is going to make a difference here in endgame. All these Liches die to 4 Thunders now that we have Thunder Boost as well. This one is different. This one, the Toy Box one that we're coming into, and then the Sanfrin one at the end, have extra Thunder resistance, so they're a little bit slower. They don't die to 4 Thunders like the others do. So I'm going to switch to Nano Gear here, and the reason that we're doing that is we're going to do a full Shot Lock, and unlike Ever After Shot Lock, which ticks up to 28 hits, Nano Gear Shot Lock instantly does 24 hits. I didn't get my fire out here, so we're going to have to Thunder this Lich after that, and he got away from me. I'm just going to double Shot Lock him, that works too. Or he's going to keep flying, that's fine. Let me, that works. Sloppy but we're through. That Lich can disappear and Eroga you. Which I've had happen in a race before, and it was sad and scary. This is the Kingdom of Corona Lich. This one is the worst one to have slip away, because he runs very far. But hopefully we'll catch up with these Thunders at the start. Cool. And then we've got one more Lich to go. And this is the San Francisco Lich, which also has Thunder Resistance. And we can kill this Lich by doing 1 Thunder full Shot Walk. And again, we're going to use Nano Gear so that the Shot Walk is instant and the damage just all comes out at once, rather than slowly ticking up to 28 hits. So here, we're going to do a Thunder, and then pop this full Shot Walk, let him move forward so that he doesn't dodge that while he moves. That gives us Eroga, which we're going to use once towards the end of this run on a very cool fight. We're done with Witches now, we get to come back to life, and we reset time, and instead of dying, we get to fight Demon Tide, which is what killed us. And unlike the Demon Tide in Twilight Town, and unlike the Demon Tide in 0.2, this Demon Tide is extremely free now that we have some very nice tools at our disposal. You're also going to see me in movement now that we have Glide equipped, doing glides into air slides here. Just traveling in a straight line using that. So here's Demon Tide. We're gonna pop Aerial and jump. And Aerial, as you can see, Aerial's gonna do a lot of damage because all these projectiles are gonna hit Demon Tide, and boom, there's his health gone. He goes underground into his next phase, and we just get to smack him once. Now we have Union Cross, so I'm gonna be hitting the triangle button a lot here. If anybody wants to help, feel free to post triangles or Fs in the chat, because it's F on the keyboard. There's a rhythm to this that I'm going to be trying to be keeping in order to go as fast as possible. I look at Sora's animation for throwing the Keyblade, because he can't throw a Keyblade when he's in the animation of throwing the Keyblade. So you have to wait for that animation to wear out. But this will go on for like another 2 minutes, so if there's anything, any donations or anything to be said, feel free to chime in while I just mash the triangle button. Oh, also fun note, all of these names on the left side of the commands that we're using are actually players of the mobile game, Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. There was an event that allowed you to get your name in KH3, and this is where those names were all used. The scene's amazing casually, after seeing it over 100 times, and hitting the triangle button multiple hundreds of times every single time, it loses its appeal a little bit. So fun fact, it is possible to die here. These balls can kill you. Which shouldn't happen, but I've had some close calls before where I wasn't paying attention to the balls coming down and just paying attention to the rhythm that I was hitting triangle at, and took more damage than I thought. And that's Union Cross. Now we get into the really fun stuff. This is honestly my favorite part of the whole run, is Keyblade Graveyard. A lot of people don't like it because it's a lot of magic spam, a lot of fire, a lot of thunder. But trust me when I say there is a lot of thought that goes into the magic that we use, when we use it, and why we use it, which I'll try to explain some of as I go through here. Because it's more than just mindlessly spamming magic. There's actually quite a bit of depth to it in order to go as fast as possible. We also got Starlight, the Keyblade there. So going through Keyblade Graveyard here, there's a bunch of Organization 13 fights that we're going to be doing. The first one, we take this in a set order, so we're doing Riku and Xigbar first, which all these fights are grouped, except for one where there is another person, but they don't really count, which we'll get to later. But we're gonna do a Thunder here. This will push us to the cutscene, because Ansem's not supposed to be here at this time. We're gonna jump and do some Thunders on Riku, get hit out of those Thunders by Xigbar, because Xigbar is a bully. He hates us. But we did get commands there, and it looks like Xigbar took a good amount of damage there. The goal there is that they get grouped up for these Thunders to hit them both. Which happened. That was a really good fight. He also got staggered out of his DM there. So a common theme we're going to see throughout Keyblade Graveyard is once you kill one member in the fight, the next member will immediately go into their DM, their desperation move. And a lot of the times, that means they go invulnerable, you can't hurt them, or they do things that makes it annoying and hard for us to hurt them. We're gonna do fires here on Marluxia into a Firaza. I'm gonna switch targets to Larxene here. Erosa, Firaza, switch back to Marluxia. And pop an Ether here. I do have to burn another Ether because I have to be at full MP here for full MP blast. This is Luxord now that we're doing. So Luxord's gonna appear in a card that's shaking, which is over here. 2 hits and a Thunder kills him. Because of Magic Galvanizer and full MP blast, we do a lot of damage. Now we are going to target Larxene. Larxene's dead. And I'm going to kill Marluxia here. I did some extra fires to try and get Mirage Staff. Didn't end up working out, but that's okay. The hits that we do and the Thunder that we do on Luxord gives us a chance at Mirage Staff here. And if I get it here, I get to do some fun things with the Mirage Staff clones. But unfortunately, we didn't end up getting it. So these fights are going to be a little bit more standard, a little less fun for me. Because I really like having Mirage Staff here, and it's faster. But it is what it is. We make do with what we get. The cage 3-way. The panels on the floor are switches for the doors. Sora's a genius. He understands how puzzles work. And that he should go through the doors before they close. That's also a very important point that a lot of people wouldn't understand. It's good that we have Sora to enlighten us on this pertinent information. This is Saïx. Shion's also here. She doesn't really count. We just need to damage Saïx. Gonna pop an Ether here, Air Slide over and Thunder. And do fires into Firaza. Thunder, Saïx, pop another Ether. And do more magic. So Saïx's Berserk bar is Phil. He's gonna run into the center and go into his next phase. Gives us a little bit of downtime, and we're gonna take a picture. Now it's Saïx time. We get to kill him. More fires. Firaza, Thundaza, Erosa. Oh my god, I got lucky. There's my command. Thank you, game. We're going into Terra and Vanitas now. This is the last of the baby org members before we get to the big boys. The 3 big bads, the 3 big dads. Triple Xehanort, the Nort Court, whatever you want to call them. Again, we're going to be doing Thunders here to hopefully hit both Vanitas and Terra, which it looks like those first Thunders did do. Thundaza here. I'm going to Ether to get full MP Blast and do more Thunders on Vanitas. Alright. And Vanitas is dead. Now we have Terranort. Gonna come up into the center and kill him. the order of the fights up to the player, or do you need to do them in the set order? I do them in this order because it helps with arrows carrying into the next fight. Any arrows that we have at the end of a fight carry into the next fight, so it makes getting commands on certain fights slightly faster. So, like, getting arrows from Saïx makes getting the Thundaza on Terranort Vanitas earlier, so we have more of a chance of hitting them both with the Thundaza, which is nice. And we also want to do Riku Zigbar before Marluxia, Luxine, Luxord, because we have a chance at getting Mirage Staff in Marluxia, Luxine, Luxord, and it's better to have Mirage Staff for the next 2 fights than to have it for Riku Zigbar. Here I'm going to do a cool combo. We're going to fire, double water to iframe Xemnas' hit, and then thunder fire. And now, this is the Keyblade Storm, which we will hopefully only see this one time. We're gonna double flight here. Thunder, fire combo into Firaza. Get some damage in on Ansem. We're gonna switch targets here to Young Xehanort. Young Xehanort is now good. That's Ansem. I want Xemnas. Awesome. So the goal here is to kill Xemnas first, then Young Xehanort, then Ansem, but we want to get them all to low health. That here, I'm going to do 2 fires and pop a shot walk so that I don't fill my situation commands because I'm at 3 arrows. That way we kill Young Xehanort before the Keyblade Storm starts up, and then again here on Ansem. You get to do a full fire combo into Firaza, and I'm going to partial him. Wasn't even necessary. So we kill Ansem in the startup for the Keyblade Storm. By killing them in that order and getting their HP in those locations, we only have to sit through that opening Keyblade Storm, and then we never have to sit through the full thing again, which is very nice. We're in the last world of the run. We've got about 4 minutes left, maybe. We're getting very close to the end. This is going to be very fast-paced. So Scala ad Kylum. And this fight is very cool. We're going to use Eroga here, so I'm going to air slide back. Do 4 Erogas into Erosa, and everything dies. These are the vessels. They share a health bar. So by doing Eroga, which groups them all up, they all take the hit of Eroga, and it all depletes the same health bar. So that fight goes by very, very, very quickly. Now we have Armored Xehanort, which we're going to be using more fires on. Gonna Ether here. Jump. Do 4 fires and Ether again. He's going to close these orbs in on me and try and teleport me, but we can double flight through that. Do a full fire combo into Firaza and thunder him. That's Armored Xehanort 1 done. Each of these Armored Xehanorts have a flame pillar that they do as a DM. Our goal here is to not see any of those. Ether and do 3 fires, do another set of fires. Gonna fire into Arrow here. Do some more fires. Arrow. So Armored Xehanort 2 done. Armored Xehanort 3 is very cool. We're gonna do a bunch of Thundagas to stagger him at the very beginning before he can attack. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 15 on the shot lock kills him. And that Thunder finisher staggers him and sends him to the ground. So we're actually able to do this. 2 more fights left. This is Final Xehanort 1. I'm gonna fire Thunder and guard his hits coming in. Dodge roll through the last one. Do a full combo Firaza, Thundaza. I'm gonna Ether here, if he'll let me. Do some more fires. Okay, this is hard. I'm gonna Ether. Jump. 4 fires, Waterga. I got a Firaga instead of the Waterga. That's fine, we have a backup here. So we're gonna see that little blue alien that I didn't want to see here, that I said we wouldn't see if things went well. But Stitch here is a wonderful backup that we can use in case we don't get our Waterga out and get the iframe for that. But that takes out all of Final Xehanort's health. Gets us to the last ray without him putting us into rage form, which is something that he does later on. Once he gets below 4 bars of health, very slightly below 4 bars of health, he would normally do that. So yeah, that's it. That's the run. Time's not yet, but time is coming up soon. It'll be on our final hit, and we're dead. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh no. Sora dies a lot in this game. Both before Final World and also here. He's really good at dying. But time is coming up as this laser hits Final Xehanort, and I'll call it out as well. But we've got about 15 seconds here. And there's the last ray, and that's time.
GG, Swift.
Thank you. I hope everybody enjoyed. Shoutouts to the Kingdom Hearts community. If you're interested in learning Kingdom Hearts 3 or any of the KH games, definitely look at the speedrun.com page for the Kingdom Hearts game of your choice. There'll be a link on that to the Discord, which has a lot of helpful resources and a lot of other runners that can help you get started as well. It's a really fun series. I really enjoy this run. This game's probably my favorite KH game to speedrun, and I'm very glad I got to show it off here. Thank you, everybody from Team Velocity, for having me here. I really appreciate it. I'm glad I got to close out the marathon with this. And thank you all for all of the work that you've put in over the course of this marathon and this weekend. I know it's been very busy, but it's been very fun to watch, and it's raised a lot of money for a good cause. So it's much appreciated by a lot of people. Thank you all for all your hard work.